All right, we're back for another exciting session of Red Skies, or at least I hope it'll be exciting. If not, then wow, why are we here? Or why did I stay up till 2 in the morning last night making stuff? So last time, as you guys have been making your way through the city of Maribel, you had went and spoken with the captain of the guard, or the captain of the watch, the Argent Watch, on the dock that is in the docks ward, a Sev Kuin. Speaking with him, you found out that the Sea Devils seem to be mostly attacking the warehouses, and that the guards themselves were stretched thin by looters and a variety of other things that are going on around town. And so when you guys suggested that maybe you could help out and go look at some things for him, he jumped at the opportunity. And so you guys then headed off and started asking around and checking out some warehouses and things like that. You spoke with I think her name is Inimia, the girl from the Silver Flame again, the owner, Inya, of the Silver Flame. You spoke with her for a bit. She mentioned a salvaging guy that potentially had been to the Devil's Shoals, some fishermen you could potentially speak with. You guys decided to head to the salvage person first, by way of the warehouses, kind of looking at the warehouses on the way by. As you got to the salvage place, you talked to one Lion Gali. He runs a salvage business that tends to go to the Devil's Shoals looking for ships that have crashed there. During the course of speaking with him, though, as you kind of went into his warehouse with him, you found out that he also sometimes catches fish, bluefish and things like that, and has a tank of water that he kind of said, hey, I catch fish and I sell them to the rich guys, the wealthy around here, and that's a sort of a side business to get him through lean times. You noticed, but one of you had noticed a strange kind of bluish, greenish kind of stain on the floor outside of the tank. That was maybe about 4 to 5, maybe 6 inches at max in diameter. Kind of elongated though, as if it had fallen while it was in motion. Not truly believing exactly his entire story, you did find out though that he had most recently sold some of these blue sunfish that he talks about to a man named Martin Sclair. You decided that you would then talk to the other salvage operator, who turned out to be a halfling businesswoman actually. She seemed to be doing better and does not go to the Devil's Shoals anymore. She tends to go on the other side of the island, where there is other places to be had, because she basically was saying that the Devil's Shoals is pretty much tapped, that there really isn't anything else there to find. Having done that, you decided that you guys would go talk with the wizard to try to figure out if there's something that these creatures would have that maybe would do a bluish stain or something like that maybe she would know about. So you headed to the wizard's tower and then bumbled around for a little bit trying to figure out how to get in.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bumbled is actually generous. We really didn't even bumble.
Eventually, a couple of you did make
We were contemplating.
Fair enough. Eventually, a couple of you did make it to the wizard Myrna, and she spoke with you and listened to your pleas for help, and then basically said, I don't know anything more than you do. However, there is a goddess of water. Maybe their priestesses might know something. And so, in essence, directed you to the temple to Hinari. Hinari. Am I having troubles with my own freaking gods here? I feel like I'm saying the wrong thing. Yeah, Hinari. That is on the eastern side of the docks, near the water. Leaving the temple, or leaving the tower, you guys headed out of the lawn, which is where the main civic buildings and things are, including the wizard's tower here, and started walking in the direction of the temple of the water goddess, when you saw the Silver Emporium, which you had been mentioned before by Inari. Henry? Oh my god. I'm getting irritated by the fact that I can't remember my character's name. Iylis, by Iylis Knight, the proprietress of the Silver Flame. Enamored by the 3-story building that seemed to call out your names, you decided that it was time for a shopping trip. And that's where we ended last time. As you guys kind of look up at this building, the building itself is, like I said, about 3 stories. It's not super long, but it seems to be mostly tall. Looking, kind of heading up the stairs into it, you head into the door, you see that it's kind of set out kind of sort of mall-like in the sense that there's sections of things, like a section with armor, a section with swords and blades and things like that, a section with pole arms, a section with potions, you know, sort of mini shops within the shop, so to speak. As you oh no, I forgot to do one minor thing before I did all this.
Can't believe you.
I forgot to put in some pictures. That's all. As you head up the steps, you are greeted by I think it's a halfling, who basically says to you, "Hello, how can I help you, fine folk?"
I'm looking for magical items such as staves or wands or things of that nature.
She kind of looks at you. You think it's a she. You're not 100% sure, because I'll show you a picture here in a second. Here we go. All right, there we go. So now I will do the following. What was that?
Things I can use to artifice my magic.
All right. So looking around the store, there are a few people there seem to be 3 people all wearing the same type of garb. The one that is currently speaking to you is the one on the left in your picture.
Perfect.
She, he, they, is asking you, and basically is looking at you and says, "Stabs. Let me see. Why don't I send you? Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Ridgens.
Iylis. Nice to meet you.
I send you to Nixie. Nixie should be able to give you a tour of the staff and the wand, staff, and rods."
Excellent.
She points you to the person who's kind of there's the person who she points you towards the backside of this room, where you can definitely see that there is sort of a section where it's very clear there's some staffs in there and things like that.
Cool.
And she points you to the one that is currently on the right of the picture you currently have. That seems to be Nixie.
Nice.
I'm assuming you head off.
I do immediately.
Reaching Nixie, you see that she clearly is a gnome, and she has noticed you kind of approaching and says, "Hello, did Ridgens send you my way?"
He did indeed. I'm looking for some things to conduct my magic with.
Oh.
Like a nice staff, I think will do.
A staff will do. Okay. Let us see here. Why don't you come with me, and I will take you over to this section to here, and you can see she's taking you strictly to a place where it's very clear there's maybe a half dozen staves. There's sort of what, for lack of a better term, looks like a card catalog thing, which you think probably holds the wands, maybe. And then there is some display cases with what you can clearly see are the rods. We'll get back to you, though. What are the rest of you doing? Ridgens is looking at you, expecting, like, anyone else looking for anything in particular?
I want to go see armor.
Yeah, I'd like to see some robes or gloves.
Well, armor is over there. This is my section. If you would kindly come with me. For those who are looking for clothing and that sort of stuff, that is also on my section. Kind of looking over, we have a variety of different things of armor and clothing. If you're looking for weapons of some sort, then may I direct you to, I have a last one, Poston. And she points towards the gnome, which is clearly the third one, the one in the middle, who's kind of standing,
one with the ice cream hair.
Yeah, standing basically right in the middle of like weapon racks and stuff like that, and he's kind of when you look over at him, he's kind of picking his teeth with a toothpick, and he notices it, and he kind of throws it down real quick and gives you a big smile. So that was Dresd'a, Aaron, Hylough. You're headed towards clothing and armor, correct?
Yep.
Right.
All right. And what about the last three? Two? Marcus and Rhux, two.
I guess I'm gonna go clothing and armor or gadgets. I wouldn't mind an eye patch that lets you see in the dark or something along those lines. Armor's always good too.
Well, it's up to you. Like, you can head over. There's
are those different places?
Yeah, there's basically, like I said, it's sort of mall-like. There's little small spots where it's different things.
I'll go to the armor. Actually, I'll go to the gadgets. We'll go to gadgets first.
So kind of wonder side and stuff like that. So you start heading towards a spot where there is nobody. Like I said, the staff is basically these three. Praedyth, what are you doing? Rhux, what are you doing? Praedyth was it?
Well, they're shopping and whatever. Praedyth's gonna find a good spot to set up shop and start preaching.
Okay.
So he doesn't want anything from the store really. So he's
a man of few possessions.
You actually
except converts.
You start looking around to see if there's anybody in the store other than these three, and you notice there's maybe two people, but also you notice that there's sort of the central area here is open, and you notice on this floor above that there seems to be a wall of books.
Ooh. And then he heads up there.
All right, you find the staircase and start heading up. All right.
Also, keep in mind, guys, we need to save some money for other stuff.
Saving money?
I'm spending it all.
I have like a little bit of pocket change that I'm using.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
/Rhux. Are you going anywhere in particular?
Rhux is going to. Can't open my thing. That's annoying. Gonna go look at armor for now.
Okay, so bulk of you are headed to the armor. One went to staffs, and the other one seems to have found books and is heading up towards it. All right, back to you, Iylis. So you come up there, and Nixie, clearly his name. She's like, so you want something to focus your magic with? Let's see. How much you looking to spend?
It depends on the price range of your items.
Well, we have things all the way from. Well, let's see. Staffs and wands. I gotta look. I gotta look at my thing here. I didn't put prices down. I put what they had that was within your price range.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put down what the extra prices were. We have at least from. We have everything all the way up to 5,000 gold marks.
5,000 gold marks. Incredible. Well, I have about 7 gold marks that I'm willing to put down for a nice staff.
She kind of looks at you for a little bit and says, 7 gold marks for a nice staff. Might I recommend you head out the door and go about 3 blocks down and speak with the wood carver. He can probably make you a very nice wooden staff.
Oh, I've offended her. Oh no.
I'm sorry to say, but you're not going to buy a lot of items here in the Silver Emporium for 7 gold marks.
Guys. I need some extra cash.
They're on the other side of the hall from you.
Give me just a second.
More than likely, it's going to take you more than a second to get enough money to buy a staff or a wand. Because I believe the cheapest one is at least 600 gold marks.
Man.
So, but
guys,
when you have the money, come on back and we'll clock. You guys have headed over with Ridgens and walked into basically the armor spot. And there's several armor stands with varieties of different armor types. Actually, you recognize right away, Aaron, some ironwood armor. So they must have gotten a hold of some ironwood scale at some point. Ironwood, and they've made some scale armor out of it. I can't remember if you already have that, so I'm just saying you recognize it though right away. So at the very
I
minimum,
believe that is what you gave me.
yeah, I'm just saying.
Was like it was like the same status chainmail, but it was made out of the ironwood.
Yeah. So they at least have been able to get a hold of some of ironwood before, which is interesting. At least somebody has, because like I said before, when it was mentioned, the silver anvil, the Artificers Guild, the silver anvil is what provides the items that are sold here. You guys also notice that there are a couple shields on the wall. There's a few braces, bracers, not braces, braces for your teeth. A few bracers that are sitting on a shelf over there. Definitely some on some of the armor mannequins. There's some studded leather. There's a chain shirt on one. There's a very, very shiny, not plate armor, but scale armor. Another scale armor, very shiny. Kind of in contrast to the ironwood scale armor. And then there is a. I gotta remember what this was. Second. There is a what looks to be a leather armor, but it's odd. It's leather armor, but it's kind of got a bluish tinge to it as well. There's also like a full suit of plate mail there, but you guys are already pretty sure that that's out of your price range.
So, guys, do we want to figure out how much money we have to spend before
And the last thing you notice that catches your eye, Marcus, I forgot about, is a long leather coat.
Ooh, spiffy. That would be awesome. Well, let's see how much money we have each before we
did
start
I
figuring
notice
this out.
any like cloaks or gloves?
This is the armor section, but next door to it is the extra clothing stuff. But we'll talk about that in a second.
So we had 12 belts of. Oh, we can't do the odd gold coins. Is that here?
What odd gold coins?
I'm trying to remember
from
the one from the fish
fish
people. I'm trying to figure out how much money we have to divide between us.
Well, I mean, you might be able to
Or
do the
just-
extra coins. You just don't know how much it's worth.
Well, no, that's true. I'm just saying. Okay, so I will ask how much for the leather coat and what does it do? I mean, obviously it's a nicer jacket, but
Brigands, they say, well, that is an interesting thing that has caught your eye, sir. That is called a captain's coat. What it is?
Indeed,
it's a captain's coat, and it is a leather coat that I had the thing for. Here it is. That will allow you to while you're wearing it. Not only does it show the insignia of your ship on the back, and you look at it right now, and as they kind of turn it around a little bit, you can see that there's basically the symbol of the serval anvil on it right now. Clearly the Artificers Guild. But he says when you wear this will change to a symbol, an insignia of your own choosing, and you will be able to climb like you are a monkey and swim like you are a dolphin. Further, while you are in the water, you can breathe it.
it's truly a great item.
And lastly, and this is the most interesting thing that Master Bibblenabble himself would say was amazingly done by the craftsman who made this. You can use this coat to shift into an elemental water form. For basically 1 minute. It can go for the low price of 6,000 gold marks.
Didn't you say something about things in our price
Not
range?
that, guys.
There are things in your price range, just not that one thing.
Man.
There's a lot of stuff here. But some of it you can purchase because you have the money for it. Some of them you can't because you just don't have the money for it.
Well, I'll
I
browse
think we should
shields.
pool all our money into buying me a staff.
Well, you might want to find out what staffs you can probably afford before you say that. Anyway,
Why don't you go ask her prices?
Well, I was
go get some prices.
Well, you were trying to get the
trying to
prices,
do-
and she was going to give you some prices until you said that you only had 7 gold marks to spend. In which case,
Well, that's what I had on me.
in which case, she said she's thinking, he's wasting my time. I'm going to move on. Dresd'a, you look next, kind of in the cubby over, and there's definitely several things of clothing in there. A couple pairs of boots, a few necklaces, there is 2 cloaks in there as well. It seems to be a little less stocked than, say, the armor and some of the other things, as if maybe there aren't really a lot of artificers or magic creators that are making these types of items, but there are a few things.
So I guess something I might be looking for would be like cloaks of protection or gloves of archery or unarmed striker.
Doesn't seem to be any gloves there.
No gloves?
Nope.
What about the boots? What kind of boots are they?
Well, Ridgens is currently working with Hylough as he
Okay,
kind of
all
run
right.
over the shield. So you're just kind of browsing at this point, kind of looking at things and stuff like that. So Hylough, Ridgens kind of notices the look of astonishment on Marcus's face, and heads over to you as you're looking over the shields. You pull one kind of off the shelf.
I would like to roll to keep a look of astonishment off my
6,000 gold is a lot.
No, it is a lot, but I want to totally not blow it here. Can I do a deceptions roll to?
You're not.
I'll only look slightly
Hylough,
odd,
you pull
not
one off. You pull the
jaw to
shield
the
off
floor.
of the thing.
Marcus, be quiet.
It feels
I'm
kind
trying
of.
to talk to the salesman.
Yeah, it feels kind of light in your hands. The metal. The metal is interesting. It doesn't seem like it's steel. Seems like it's something else. Not exactly sure.
Do they have price tags on anything?
No, of course not.
Okay. Not that kind of place.
Not that kind of place.
If you have to ask, it's too much. You can't afford it. So,
as we already learned from Iylis asking.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I really just need a basic shield, but something a little maybe with a little bit of power, but kind of low end. I want to start low here.
Start on the low end. You kind of put it on a little bit and kind of feel it. It feels nice on your arm. I mean, it feels well balanced, like more balanced than any shield you've actually ever tried before. Actually, like super well balanced. It's very light. Whatever this metal is, it's very light.
Okay, so
and Ridgens is like, that is one of our basic shields made by one of our journeymen. Well, actually, a journeyman an artificer before. It was their journeyman project, actually. It is just a shield with a minor enchantment on it, made out of aluminum.
Aluminum.
Yes.
Do I even know what that is?
Well, so you probably don't know what it is, but you can give me a quick knowledge history check.
Knowledge history?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, aluminum, what the hell's that?
Yeah. I've never heard of that before.
Oh, it is a melding of iron plus well, it is actually an alloy of the iron plus the bauxite that comes out of the mines near here.
Uh-huh.
I mean, technically bauxite is aluminum. It has aluminum.
How much does something like this go for?
Let me see. They say, because I can't remember, gotta look it up. This particular one goes for 300 gold marks.
That's
it's close.
You say this is a basic.
Yeah, that's basic shield. Like, I mean, you guys haven't went to some of the other places, like the potion place and stuff like that, where. Let's be honest. Most magic items are going to be over 150 gold. So
yeah.
But
if I say anything wrong, he's going to send me down to the wood carver.
No.
So would this be the most basic one that you have? You indicated that it was fairly basic.
Yes. I mean, we don't sell non-magical equipment.
Right.
There are other purveyors of that in the city. We specialize
Okay.
so that we do what our so that a typical blacksmith we're not trying to compete with them. They need to make a living as well.
There's such a thing as a mastercrafted shield.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Just
sure,
I just
sure,
thought
there is such a thing as a mastercrafted shield, but it's the same.
it's a
stats.
+1 shield. Yeah.
It's not +1. It's just the same stats.
Oh, okay.
It's the same stats as any other shield. It's just really well made.
Yeah. I thank you for your help. I think that I'm going to put this on my list of things that I want to come back and get.
Fair enough. Anybody else looking at anything here? Or at least
too expensive.
Or at least seeming like you're interested in anything?
Window shopping. That's
I mean, I'm gonna.
You get over there, Iylis.
If I can.
You're getting over there as Ridgeon heads over and starts looking. Dresd'a's kind of looking through the clothing. So, Iylis, you make it to the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Dresd'a, Ridgeon comes up to you and says, do you find anything you're interested in?
Can you tell me anything about the boots you have here?
We have a couple different kinds of boots. One, this set here, and they pull up a pair of boots that look rather normal, except you can see there's some iron bands in them. They say, this one will help you move more quickly and jump further. And these right here, and he pulls up some other ones that have I don't know, they look like normal boots, but when you kind of touch them briefly, you get a slight static shock from them, and they say this one allows you to move much faster. The equivalent of boots of striding and springing and boots of speed.
Okay. What about the cloaks?
We don't have a lot of artificers here in the guild that do much in the way of textiles and that sort of stuff, but we do have a couple of cloaks that were sold to us from passing peoples. This particular cloak here, and she kind of points at one, only worn by one other user from our knowledge, and it will help. It helps you protect you a bit from various attacks and traps. It's a cloak of protection.
Nice. Wow. I would love it, but I'm almost afraid it might not be within my budget. How much is it?
See, Ridgeon's kind of think for a moment. This one here would be 750 gold marks.
Wow, that's a great price. Do I have 750 gold? Have we figured it out?
I don't know. Have you guys figured out how much gold you have?
How much gold do we have, guys?
I don't know that we have that. we have 250 essentially that we collected from that we got paid for work that we have yet to complete, and then I don't know if what we had left over.
But we definitely have nowhere near 750.
We might, but that'd be the only thing that we could probably get. I mean,
Okay.
we have the gold coins that are on the fish people, the 20-odd gold coins for 12 belts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then we had some money that the captain gave us for incidentals, although spending that might be a bit premature. I can't remember how much of that we had.
This sucks. This is like a tease. Why are you bringing us into the shop and we don't have any money for anything?
You guys wanted to go to the Silver Emporium, not me.
I'm just along for the ride. So so if we were,
I thought maybe
do you have any quests we could go on so I could earn this cloak, or any things I can collect along the way?
Ridgeon's kind of looks at you funny, and they're like, we don't give out quests. I don't. You see
what about this
question mark over my head? I do not give out quests.
It's an exclamation point for quest. What about this black hand axe? Would you consider that as something for trade?
You kind of held it out, and Regents kind of looks at it a little bit and says, well, we do trade. I would have to have Master Bibblenabble take a look at it and decide how much it's worth.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, willingness to do that.
If you would wait here, I can go get him now. And they head off, and seem to head up to the stairs and start going up the stairs.
I want the cloak.
While you're waiting, Praedyth, you've made it to the bookshelves. It's one bookshelf and the thing, and there's a variety. There's probably maybe 40 books here.
Let's start going through them. You're gonna start looking at each of them.
Well, you go to put your hand up there to take it out, and it hits a field of some sort.
Huh. Who has the key? Who's got the the one associate always has the key? Who's got the key?
Looking around, who's got the key? Who's got the key? And on the other side of you, you hear a voice say, "Oh, my man! Why, of course I have the key. This would be crap! I didn't make this guy either. It would be my key."
Well, I want to peruse your selection.
You're gonna have to wait a second.
Try and go
till I get you guys face up. Says, and this is who you see. He says, "Well, I am the owner of this fine establishment. I help out the artificers of the city to get their items to you. That being said, artificers aren't making these things. They don't make them at all.
That's
This is
true.
my personal collection."
I see.
What are you interested in, my good man? Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have mentioned. My name is Zilston Bibblenabble.
Bibblenabble, yeah. My name is Reverend Praedyth Kyria.
Reverend, you say?
Reverend himself.
Maybe you should be speaking downstairs in the holy section. There are several things of interest down there. Some relics of various types, some chalices, a few beads of prayer beads, things of that nature.
I imagine the relics that I'm going to be looking for are not going to be found downstairs in your shop. However, some information might be found in your shop about where I can find what I'm looking for.
Do you
have any histories or of the area? Any geographic information as well? Just anything on.
I'm sorry to say, sir, but we only sell items of magic down in the first floor. This floor up here is for artificers, members of the Silver Anvil to use, and that is all.
I can't even look, even if I don't buy.
Are you a member of the Silver Anvil?
Yes.
Well, I can be right now for the next couple minutes.
Give me a deception roll.
Okay.
Show me your card.
Deception, you said?
Yes. Okay. Deception.
Oh, I got a +7 on this. Let's do it. I didn't realize I was so good at lying.
That's not good enough. He's like, sir, you said you are a reverend? I don't know of any reverend artificers in the Silver Anvil. Yeah, I'm sorry. Plus, if you were a member of the Silver Anvil, you would have already been taking down the books.
Well, I almost got you though. That's what really mattered.
Fair enough.
And
so at that point, you kind of feel something, and you kind of turn behind you. There is a I don't know, about 5 foot tall guy standing behind you, and he seems to look at you, and he's like, "Downstairs."
Now,
the
you say
bouncer.
downstairs, but can I interest you in how
No.
the winds of fate might lead
At
us
that
back
point,
to this bookshelf?
he goes to grab you.
I'm gonna duck under him and just
Okay.
I'll walk downstairs.
Right, so you duck under.
No need to get rough.
And as you're going downstairs, Zilston's going around doing anything. He says, "I'm so sorry. I mean, it's just we can't have everyone up here looking at all these various things. They really are for the Silver Anvil members only. I'm actually surprised that you got up here in the first place. Wonder if Droge needs a better identification routine. Whatever. Can I interest you in anything else? Oh, I see. I have more customers. And the rest of you now see Zilston Nibblebabble or Bibblebabble. Sometimes he says Nibblebabble. You never know. He's like, he claps his hands, and you see the other three that are kind of snap a little bit more to attention. And he's like, have we been helping our customers? And Ridgeon and Nixie kind of like yes, are shaking their head yes. And the last one, whose name I believe you heard was Poston, is kind of just looks at him like kind of gives him a shrug. Poston, why does no one ever wish to speak with you? It's the hair. It must be that hair. What are you guys doing?
So did I hear you say the Order of the Silver? What was the other word?
Anvil?
Anvil. Thank you.
Silver Anvil.
How does one become a member of this order? We're new to town. So
Are you an artificer?
I am not. However, I know some. And
Does a binder count as an artificer?
Can you work metal and make it into a magical item?
Boy, I wish.
Yeah.
I cannot. So is the membership? You must be a artificer to be a member of this.
Yes, unfortunately, that is what it means.
Okay. That is, I was unaware. So thank you for that.
That does not mean you can't purchase their wares. You just, if you wish
no.
become
It's quite
get more of their resources that they are allowed to access here, you must become a member.
How do you learn the craft?
Oh, it takes years of practice and study.
or 1 or 2 levels.
There are certain things I wouldn't let you just multi-class into there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Things like wizard and stuff like that, actually, I would require that there's an actual in-game reason why you actually figured it out.
Oh, I'm not talking about me. I'm not going artificer.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But like, you can't just say, "Oh, we've been adventuring for a week. I now know how to craft magical weapons and armor."
That's true.
It doesn't work out that way.
I can make a wand or a dagger.
But Robert might be able to. A sorcerer or something like that might have. If you can come up with a good story.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
Just to circumvent some things.
Gotcha.
I mean, they do. It does require study and stuff like that.
So we actually are helping the guards out, and I was curious because we heard that you had someone try to actually steal things from you. Is that who would? Obviously, you have some of the finest wares in the town. I mean, the magic items. Why would anyone attempt that?
I don't know. Maybe they just wanted something. There are a lot of people that have much avarice in this world.
Well, that's true. So it was just a one-time thing. It wasn't like, there seemed to be things. We were new to town, but with these fishmen and there's several things going on. You don't think that could have been a possible relation at all? I mean,
it was not a fishman who tried to get into my vault.
The sea drip devils. True. No, it's not. But just a thought. I didn't know if there was any type of, again, just trying to see what perhaps could be going on in this place. We are new to town, so.
Well, what is going on in this place is that we are selling items of magic.
Well,
and if you wish to purchase items of magic, then we will discuss more. if you do not wish to purchase items of magic, then it would be better if you let the other customers speak with my assistants.
Oh, of course.
You kind of look around and there's not a lot of other customers.
Do they have any potions? Is that you? Did you say there was potion, or is that a different store?
Yes, they have potions. Yes.
Could we see your potion section actually? Because that might be more along our
very much
needs
so.
At this moment.
Nixie, would you please help these people? And Nixie comes over again. Yes. She kind of looks at you real quickly and says, "You do have more than 7 gold marks, correct?"
Of course. Much more than 7.
Then come right this way.
Good.
And she takes you to a spot where you can see a bunch of racks of various potions and things like that. And she says, I mean, what are you looking for? We have potions of healing. We have potions of water breathings, a few of fire breath, heroism, enlarge, invisibility, speed, healing.
How much are the healing potions?
Well, we have a couple grades of healing. We have our normal healing, which is our base model. That would be 50
the compact
gold.
healing.
That would be 50 gold marks. And then we have a slightly better version of that, which it's able to handle a more grievous wound. I believe that one's 300 marks. Okay.
Is that just a 2d4 heal, or
potion of healing is 50 gold marks, and then a potion of superior healing. I can't spell in my thing. Is 500 gold.
Yikes!
Well, it does a lot more.
Yeah, but that's a huge.
And the potion of greater healing is 300 gold marks.
Okay.
But they don't seem to have any graders, right? They have superior.
Do you have anything? You have the invisibility. Is there something that might just help you blend into the shadows? But how much is the invisibility? The potion of invisibility.
That one is 250 gold marks. And we do not currently have something that would help you just blend into shadows better. I can bring that up when the potion master returns, brings the next batch. See if she is willing to make such a thing.
Oh, okay. I would be curious. And the potion is for one person, I assume. It's not something that.
Yes, you cannot share it. It's one.
Not gonna share it.
One drink.
One invisibility spell.
One use.
Of course. Well, thank you. That definitely. Is anyone else interested in something for the future, or we'll have to discuss this amongst our crew to see. There may be a use for this in the near future. So, anyone else?
I'm good.
Right.
Well, thank you for your time. You have a wonderful store. You said the smith is down which way?
Nixie's like, well, I didn't. Oh, actually, I didn't say anything about a smith. When I was talking to your friend, I mentioned a wood carver. However, if you wish
I thought I overheard smith from someone else. I apologize.
Then you're still in the correct district here in the trades. But you will need to go a bit further nearer to the docks. It's usually not too much far away. Maybe a couple blocks.
Is there one that you could recommend? Is there only one smith, or are there several?
We do not take sides in the other guilds. That is up for you to decide.
Ah, of course. And what were they called?
What
was the smith's name?
Again, we don't take sides. There are multiple smiths.
Names. Oh, okay. There's no names. I was just saying. Okay.
You get the feeling that she's not going to give you a name of a smith. Like,
I know
that there are multiple smiths,
got that.
But she's not going to give you one.
Yeah. I was going to go for an insight to see if I could see if any of them sounded better or not. But obviously she's not going to help me out.
No, she's not going to give you that.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Well, that probably won't work. If we do find items to trade in.
Well, I mean, you have Dresd'a asked about the one thing. So
what else do we have? let me look at my character sheet. Does anyone have anything? We have the spears, I believe.
You have a javelin of lightning. You have spears of vicious spears,
and the black hand axes.
So Regin brings over Bibble Nabble, and he says, "My associate here says that you have a black axe that you wish to try to trade in. May I see it?"
Sure. Yeah.
You take it out. You start to hand it to him. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom, where'd you go? Wisdom. Wisdom is under attributes. There.
All right, you hand it on over to him. And he kind of looks at it, and he takes a hold of it, and then he kind of looks at it for a bit, and then he pulls out a monocle and puts it on his eye and starts to look it over. Let me pull for him. He's looking through the monocle for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. No, I'm just kidding. For maybe about a minute or so, and then you hear a strange squeak, and he drops the axe on the floor, and he backs away quickly. And he says, "Why would you bring such a thing into my establishment? Be gone!
What is it?
Be gone!
What is
you people?
What
Be
is
gone from my spot, from my shop, and do not return."
What is it? What is it?
Drudge, please remove these people.
So
Oh my God,
I want to roll
what the hell?
insight
And
to see if this is
three of the same guy come walking out, lumbering out towards
excellent.
you guys.
Well,
You do an
if-
insight check, yes.
Yeah, if this was pure fear. Damn it, wrong character. Okay.
It's pretty clear he's disturbed by whatever he saw in that with that axe.
Right. But I can't tell. It's anger, fear.
You're not 100% sure. I mean,
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
It's potentially a mixture of both.
Can I see? Does anyone else look at it side-eyed? Any of the other people, or are they just?
Well, no, they're just backing away with him. Like they assume he knows what he's doing. I assume, or at least you assume. The three guys that you look, and there's three of these things, and they all look the same, and they start lumbering towards you.
Apologies. Good day, and I'll just walk out of the shop.
And he doesn't respond. He's like, "Quickly, get them out! Remove that item!" And you see one of the, unless you pick it up, you see one of those guys lumbering towards you, bend down and pick it up and go outside with it and throw it out in the street.
Throw it to somebody.
I mean, you can pick it up
him?
first if you want. I'm just saying.
Yeah, can I persuade him to tell us what's wrong with it, what it is?
If you even start to turn back or anything like that, the creature basically starts to try to physically take you out of the store.
Huh. Okay.
So maybe we should learn a little more about these things, because yeah, that was an extreme reaction.
When I pick it up, can I not touch it? Can I use a piece of cloth or something to do that with?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna pick it up, but not come in contact with it. I'm gonna use some sort of cloth or something else, and I'll wrap it up in it.
Remember, you're not the only one with one of these things, too.
Yeah, well.
Oh, and remember, somebody got one stolen from them last session.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, we'll find out what happens when the poor little kid ends up dead.
Yeah, something.
Oh, so that did not go well.
Yeah, you guys just need more money. Which
no, there's no doubt.
You're on your way towards. Don't worry about that. Your money situation will become better.
If we don't get kicked out of
as long as you don't die, but
yeah, exactly. Or we don't piss them off again.
I mean, that was an unfortunate thing. You have something, you don't realize what you have.
Right.
Clearly.
Yeah, we should ask that. So should we go to the church? Does anyone, I mean, there are weapons in the smith or leather if someone wants armor or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can just pop over to the woodworker and actually get like something to suffice in the meantime, you know.
I mean, so is this something that'll help you use your magic, or are you just looking for a weapon?
Yeah, I mean, well,
or...
technically I need to have a staff or something, right, to do my magic.
I think they've gone down with that a lot, but I mean,
you need an arcane focus if you don't want to have all the spell components, but you don't need an arcane focus. Like,
yeah, well, so
it could also be like a necklace.
But see, the thing is, I technically haven't had an arcane focus, and I've been casting spells.
Right.
So
but as long as the spell doesn't have a material component, you're fine.
Yeah.
That's
well, I should probably get something.
Okay.
To start with.
No, I was just curious. That's fine. Well, do we want to go to the woodworking thing now?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that near the smith? Did he say the smith was further away?
They just said that they were
this closer to the docks.
Yeah. They were
not very helpful, period.
Well, not when they found out you didn't have very much money, no.
Wow. We either have too much money or not enough money. Just depends on who hears us.
We're moving.
All right, so you guys start heading off in a particular direction. You could try to find somebody along the streets and ask, I guess.
Sure.
Well, it can't be that hard to find, I would think. I mean, but yeah, ask a guard.
You start heading down the street, and within within a few minutes, you're already starting to see various shops along the way. First shop you kind of come across is really a jeweler's shop, not anything else, but I mean, it's still something. So you feel like you're at least in the right area. Kind of looking around, you see up ahead, you do see a sign with a shield on it. So that could either be an inn or maybe could be a blacksmith. You're not sure which. At least a place to start.
Yeah.
Let's step inside.
Heading into it, as you get closer, you hear clang, clang. Clearly, somebody's beating metal into shape. Yep. And you head inside, and as you open the door to the shop, you can feel it's a little bit warmer inside. So you step inside the thing, and a man you can see out the back through sort of I wouldn't say an opening, sort of it opens up into a home, well, not a home, but a set of rooms that open out into an open air kind of courtyard garden kind of thing. But that's literally where the blacksmith is, and you can see this guy who's maybe, I don't know, about 5.5 feet, maybe a little taller than that, bang metal on an anvil. He hasn't seemed to notice you yet, probably because he's banging a hammer on some metal. You guys, what are you guys doing?
So does anybody need a blacksmith? Need a shield or mastercrafted sword, something like that?
I think I'm making a shield. I was going to look at the shields, find out how much they are.
You see him bang a couple more times on it, and then he puts whatever he's working on in some water and kind of walks over and takes a towel off and does that and drinks a little bit of water, and then he turns and is like, "Oh, how long have you guys been there? I'm so sorry, I didn't notice you."
You just walked up.
Ah.
I'm looking for a shield.
Ah, then you've come to the right place. I am Melak. I make variety of weapons and armors and shields. What do you need? A buckler, circular shield, tower shield? What exactly are you looking for?
Don't have a lot of experience, so let's see here. Getting started.
A standard shield will give you a +2 to your armor class. A buckler would give you a +1, but would still allow you to use a two-handed weapon, or at least attack with your offhand. And then a tower shield will give you a +3, but it's heavier, and it prevents you from using any weapons two-handed. Also, removes a dex bonus. So you can only have a +2 to your dex. You can't go any higher than that.
Does a buckler allow you to shoot a gun or a crossbow?
I will say the answer is yes.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I'm
I would
making
like
the
to see a
buckler up
buckler.
myself. So,
Well, they used to have them, and now, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm making it up. Basically, it's not as much armor class bonus as a regular shield does. And so, sure, I will say yes. Because it's just attached to your, it's like something attached to your arm. So you can shoot, and then you're just using it to kind of deflect things away from you. That's all you're doing as a thing versus a regular shield where it's just there and you kind of put it in the way.
So, have I been using my Warhammer two-handed or
Yes.
not? I have. So
Yeah.
that's
how you've been doing all the every time you roll it, it says Warhammer two-handed. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it says it, but then it says it could be used one-handed or
it
two-handed.
can be
so I
used
wasn't-
one-handed. It just doesn't do as much damage.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So let's see here. Yeah, I guess I need a buckler or some sort, something I could continue to use.
Okay. He's like, buckler. All right. He goes over and pulls out like 3 things where it's basically a small piece of metal, maybe a little bit larger than a dinner plate, with a leather strap on it. And he pulls 3 of them over and says, he kind of sizes you up a little bit and says, I think this one would fit you. That would be 5 gold marks.
Okay. All right. Well,
I would also be interested in the buckler. Actually, if we buy several, is there some type of deal we could have?
somebody else is channeling more.
I only have 3 of them.
Well, there are at least 3 of us here.
Give me a persuasion check. More fear. I'm kidding.
No, I'm completely
kidding,
okay.
dude.
I am playing a totally different character
No, I
than
know you
last
are.
time.
It's
I'm
funny.
good with that.
He's like, unfortunately, these are already just because you're buying the lowest version of the things. They're already at such a low price. I can't give you anything extra. Now, if you were to buy a few other things, maybe I could knock off some of the price.
Is that possible? You said there's a higher version of this, or you mean a shield? Proper shield.
Is just a proper shield is
Okay.
+2. And then, like I said, there's a tower shield. You could get a tower shield, which basically is like a 5-foot shield. But the problem is, think of it like heavy armor.
It's the Roman style.
Yeah, but think of it like heavy
shield
armor.
wall.
Like you could have it. It gives you a +3 to your armor class, but it reduces your dexterity bonus, basically.
And he said 5 gold marks for a shield.
For the
buckler.
Buckler.
Is anyone else looking for anything that we could possibly?
We have to add the buckler to our stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's all good.
Aaron, need anything?
I kind of just came up with it right now.
Not really.
Well, when you said that, I'm like, I want on that, because shield doesn't make sense, but buckler, that's the ticket.
There we go. I just gotta write it. I'll look it up.
Rhux or Dresd'a. Dresd'a, you can use a buckler, right? You don't have a shield.
Rhux is chilling.
I didn't hear the last part about it reduces your dex to what?
No,
It doesn't reduce.
That's the big shield. The buckler doesn't do anything like that.
So a buckler's a +1. But it's 5 gold. A shield is +2, but you can only use a one-handed weapon. A buckler, apparently, you can use a 2-handed weapon if you use it.
Yes.
I don't know if it would. I wouldn't think it would interfere with your casting, but
Does it interfere with unarmed strike? Because if you have a shield, you can't do unarmed strike.
yeah,
right?
it probably would then.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I
know.
don't need one. Thank you, though.
Yeah, it would throw off the weight of you would. It would put weight on your arm, so it would feel odd to you. So yes, it would. It wouldn't be compatible with the arm strike.
Brass knuckles, is that still considered unarmed strike anymore? I just want my discount.
He doesn't have brass knuckles.
Okay.
Can he make brass teeth knuckles so I can reinforce my bite attack? There we go.
I mean, we could just buy another one and then maybe give it to one of our crew that we're
Well,
gonna get.
yeah, no, but they're not going to give us a discount on 3. So
Not
other
on those
things.
3, just other things.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, I'm okay with 5 gold. It's a very reasonable deal.
Yeah, it's not.
I'm just more fearing it. So
no, it's
and if somebody else does need something, then
Hand him a platinum, and then
You take two of them?
Rhux is okay.
Take two. One for if Marcus still wants one.
Wow, this is crazy. What I literally just came up with on the fly is exactly what somebody homebrewed. 5 gold.
Nice.
Plus 1 AC.
Okay, cool.
And I'll just give you 5 gold, more fear. All right.
Well, I'm just pulling it. I'm pulling it from the money that we have from. I have the extra money from.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you.
So that's fine.
How much money do we have? I don't even know.
We don't know. We can't keep track.
So, based on what this is saying, what this guy is saying, that a buckler is normally held in your fist. So, wouldn't work for a two-handed, based on what this is saying.
Is that how you're going to go with it? Because if that's the case, then I don't.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yours is better anyway. Don't do a homebrew one. Yours is awesome.
Thinking about it. What time? Plus 1 AC. Let's see. There's. Hold on. Let's see here.
Did you have a buckler in the original rules? What did you have? You had something in the original rules like that, I thought. And the foundry stuff.
No, I don't have anything. Okay, so there is a version in the homebrew which is a fantasy version, which is a buckler version. So I'm okay with that. Yeah.
So you're okay with the two-handed weapon and the shooting?
Yes, but I'm going to go with what this says here. I like this. This is a good version of it. A buckler is a small metal shield strapped to the forearm, allowing the hand to hold an item. If you use that hand as part of an action or bonus action, you forfeit the increase to armor class until the start of your next turn. So it gives you a choice. You can either attack with the two-handed weapon or do something with that offhand with your bonus action or gain the +1. So it gives
Does that include reloading?
I would say reloading is not that case, no.
Okay.
Would the blacksmith be able to identify the hand axes that we have?
Oh, let's not do that. Let's not yet. Not yet. Although you could actually know what it's made out of.
When we're ready to leave.
What it's made out of by chance. Were the spears made out of the same material?
No. No, remember the hand axes were wielded by the creatures that were the black kind of oily nagas. So
yeah. But yeah, we're ready. That's a good idea.
So the question I would have for you, like, this sounds the current way that this is, it would benefit Marcus more than it would Hylough, by the way. So Hylough, if you were to attack two-handed, you wouldn't gain the +1 until the beginning of your next turn.
Right, I have to keep thinking, switching back and forth. So I think I'll.
Or you, yeah.
Maybe I should just pass on it then.
Yeah, I'm just letting. That's why I'm giving you the answer, the possibility.
Okay, so I'll pass on it. And
okay.
You can get
if you get a regular shield, drop it, then you could use your weapon two-handed, but you'd have to pick it up again.
Yep.
So, I mean, a regular shield would be perfect for you, except for the fact that you can't do two-handed is easy. But if you're going to tank, +2 armor class is huge.
Yeah. Well, I'll think about it. I don't know. I'm kind of waffling. Do I want to tank or do I want to do something more? I was supposed to be finesse.
Not necessarily a tanking character.
I was supposed to be finesse.
No.
And then I'm really liking this Warhammer the more I use it. So I'm kind of morphing and confused.
You know, you're the only Corsair who uses a Warhammer. Could be. Just make it real pretty and light. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Turn it into a finesse one.
So you're only going to buy one buckler?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I'll take that out of my gold if you want to put the platinum back.
No, I went ahead and paid for it, so that's fine.
All right, so you guys...
But then you have 5 more gold coming back.
Right, yes.
One buckler for 5 gold.
And if you create that, I'll pull it over and add, or I can make something up, I guess.
It's not...
Yeah, no, I know it's not.
I don't think you'll need it tonight, but we'll see.
Well, it depends on how many more people we show this axe to.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Malak's like, anything else? Otherwise, I got to get back to work. This is a commission for a pretty important person. So,
we have come across. We can't identify this metal. We found it in some ruins, and I'll pull out the hand axe of black metal. And do you know what this is?
And he kind of looks at it for side-eyed a little bit. And he's like, And he looks at it a little bit, and he's like, nah, never seen anything like that. He kind of touches it briefly. Give me a wisdom saving throw, Marcus.
Okay.
When he touches it.
Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Maybe not. I have to check my notes. This is the problem with this particular weapon, is it's so long ago that I have to find the notes about it. Oh wait, no, it's in the journal entries. Except I get rid of them. Dumb. Journal entries. There it is. Okay, 1 second. I just have to find where. This one. You feel a twinge of jealousy as he touches it, but that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely got to figure out these things.
He touches it a little bit, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about this kind of metal. It's kind of strange. I would say it's almost similar to the blue metal I've seen before, but nah, it doesn't feel quite right. It feels too oily." Kind of sniffs his fingers a little bit. He's like, "That's kind of gross. Actually, you've been carrying that for a while?"
Well, in a bag, but yes. All right. Well, thank you. Did we bring any of the shark weapons, the tridents?
Well,
we only had the one trident, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
we didn't get any of the other ones. Yeah, we don't necessarily want to get rid of that. I was thinking maybe
I forgot I had that.
Melt the others down, but they're probably gone by now. And they were shells anyway. They weren't really metal. All right. Anyone else?
Let's ask him where we could. Does he know where the foundry or where the mint would be or whatever, that we could do the do something with the gold stuff, that
like a bank?
No, I mean, who would take these gold things that we got off the sharks and probably melt them down and mint them into something? Probably would be the best way to deal with it.
I mean,
if they're not,
show him a belt. He looks at it and it's like, I don't know where those coins come from. You should just take him to a bank or something.
Okay, all right.
They'll weigh it out and figure out how much gold marks it's worth.
Okay,
that's easy. Surprisingly so.
And then we need what else do we need? We need a we need a wood carver. So we
Robert would
get the
you
directions.
don't necessarily need a wood carver. You just need somebody who has staffs.
Yes, wooden staffs.
I mean, if he wants, I'll grab out a piece of driftwood from the docks. It's fine. It'll work, right?
Malik starts to go back to his thing. Nice doing business with you. If you need anything else, know where I am.
Thank you. You too.
Are you asking him where you can find a woodworker?
Well, that's what I thought. He would just point us in the right direction. You know?
Are you looking for a woodworker? Mifani. She's a little ways down. What do you need?
He needs a staff. Get a nice staff.
Nice staff? Why would you go to a woodworker for a staff?
Well, what else would I go?
Here? He walks over and
you have
he takes out his quarterstaff, and it's got some iron shot ends, and he like, you want it? It's only
sure. I'll take it.
You can have it for 2 silver marks.
That sounds like a wonderful deal. I'll take it.
Okay.
You should have seen the prices they were charging for other staffs at those other places. Ridiculous.
So Do we know where the temple that we're going to is now, or should we ask directions?
You were given directions. Remember when you left the tower, you actually talked to the guardsman outside the lawn, and he had given you directions.
Okay.
So you buy a quarterstaff, and then head out. And what are you guys doing next?
Go to the temple, right? Anybody else do anything?
Yeah, we are going to the temple.
All right, so you guys start heading down the way, and eventually get back along the river, but on the eastern bank. Walking down there, you actually come by, and you're on the very edge of the market, the fish market. And as you get closer to it, you can smell the fish. You can hear the cacophony of peoples and things like that. As you're walking through, there's people hawking their wares of fish, fruits and vegetables, clothing of various types. Actually, somebody's talking about perfumes. You hear something about perfumes. Somebody's hawking spices. Like, there's a variety of different things being sold in this, in essence, open air market. Anybody want to stop for that or anything?
I'm not seeing anything I'm looking for.
Yeah, I don't need anything right now.
All right, you guys continue on. And maybe about 10 minutes later, you notice a building coming up along the waterfront. It's a stone building. From the looks of it, it's about 1 story tall, but it has a flowing style to the architecture that's kind of odd to you. It's not something you've seen in the other buildings here. And as I said before, most of the buildings here are like a stone foundation with a wooden frame. So this one, it definitely stands out. As you get a little bit closer, you realize that this is definitely the temple that you're looking for. As you head in up the steps and into the temple, you can actually see it really is built like almost right on the water. You can see the bay kind of comes out, and part of the stone temple actually goes out over the water. You can see some stone pylons that are holding that portion of it up. You head up the stairs and into the temple. The doors are open. You look around and you don't see anybody. You see what you think is a statue to Hanari. It's a mermaid style woman, a woman from the top, and then a fishtail on the bottom, kind of standing up, splashing a bit of water. And it's kind of odd as you look at the statue. The water, it looks like water is coming off of the fingers of the statue. It's kind of looking kind of like this out of the thing, and you can see sort of the statue is made in such a way that it looks like the goddess is bursting from the water. Looking around, you still don't see anyone. What are you guys doing?
Are there coins in the water, did you say?
No, I said it was a statue, and you're not seeing any water yet. It was just a statue.
Oh, sorry.
It looks like it's bursting from the water. More fear. You really need to get coins off of your.
No, I was gonna donate to bring the
money.
No, I was gonna take them. I was thinking maybe if we throw a coin in, but it's not. I misunderstood.
Yeah, no. It's just a statue of a mermaid bursting from water. You assume it is the goddess.
Bow to the goddess and say we have come to seek the advice of your priestess.
Your voice echoes a little bit in the like this thing is 1 story, but it's about a 15-foot story, and so there's a bit of an arch ceiling above. All of the surfaces in here are basically curved, so it echoes a bit in a weird manner. But nothing else happens.
I'll look around for like a doorbell or something, or a bell you can ring. How ring for service or something like that.
Looking around, you don't see anything that would be of that nature.
Is there any? Can we just keep going on?
You can't give me a perception roll. Yeah, you can. What do you want to do? Like, give me a perception roll. That's the easiest way to do it. No, yeah, you don't see any you don't see anything like a gong or anything like that, or to summon anybody. But there are there are some halls. Like when you look at now that you're inside, you notice that this thing, as you look to the left and the right, the halls kind of arch towards the water, and they kind of arch out of sight. Like it's not a huge thing. And think of it seems like the building, at least the hall, is built in the shape of a U.
I wonder if everybody's underwater. Well, let's go. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, let's go on
You
in.
also notice
Look
several doors and things like that.
Start knocking on doors or something.
So there's nothing else obvious of where people come in to worship or pray or altar.
I mean, this is the main hall. It does continue in a bit further. Unfortunately, his perception roll wasn't great. So,
well, can I look, or is it? I'll continue to go into it as well.
Well, I mean, you're in the temple,
right? Well, I'm gonna look for something like that, something that.
All right, just
obviously.
give me a quick perception. So in front of you as you came in, like I said, there was the statue that you saw, but you also notice at this point that there are two kind of openings on either side of that thing. So you come in, you're in the hall kind of curves away. This thing recesses in a little bit further because it's like the main temple area. But you notice that there are two kind of openings further, a little bit deeper in, and you can faintly hear sounds of splashing, water splashing.
Go towards the water splashing, but keep saying hello so I won't like run into some nymphs who are would be disturbed by this.
Dipping nymphs.
So you get kind of close to the statue. The statue, as you get a little bit closer, you realize is probably like 10 feet tall. And as you get there, you realize that those two kind of alcoves actually lead outside. Like they lead, you can see sky and stuff through the alcoves, which you couldn't see from the distance you were at before. And that's where the sound of the water splashing water is coming from. As you continue,
so go through the right alcove.
So you kind of go out and you come out and you can see that the temple. As you come out into sort of a small garden, and you can see straight ahead is a pool. It's a very, very you would almost call it a mirror if you didn't realize, if it wasn't rippling slightly, and you realize pretty quickly that it's rippling slightly because there is a woman sitting on the shore watching these dolphins. And the woman like this. Do I not have her in here? No, I do. Good. But she's only about 2.5 feet tall. And she's sitting on the edge, and every now and then she chitters just like a dolphin. And one of the dolphins will stop and kind of look at her again, and they seem to be having a conversation of some sort.
I'll stay far back and wait until she's done with her conversation with the dolphins. Just waiting for a pause, or
you wait for a little bit, and then it looks like as you're kind of sitting there watching this transform or transpire, you see that there are two dolphins that seem to be taking turns speaking with her, but you can also see there are two smaller dolphins in the pool itself. And at this point in time, you notice that the pool is not so much a pool as it is sort of a U-shaped out into the actual bay. Like the bay itself is kind of comes into this kind of U-shaped pool, and the temple kind of is built around it. But it seemed, and it's almost as if as soon as the water breaks past that where the end of the temple is, it just calms. Like, because you can see the very slight waves out there. Like, this is a pretty wide, shallow bay. Shallow being like 20, 30 feet deep. It's not super deep, and so there is still some waves to it. But as soon as it gets here, it becomes barely a ripple, and most of the rippling that's going on in this pool is being done by the dolphins that are jumping in and out of the water.
Gift from the sea goddess.
After about 10 more minutes, the dolphin kind of nods its head and splashes some water onto the woman, and then they turn and dive under the water. And after, I don't know, maybe about 30 seconds, the ripples fade and they don't seem to be gone, or you don't see them anymore. The woman kind of stands up, and there's a slight smile on her face as she turns, and she says, "You didn't have to wait there. I knew you were there. Please come in."
I didn't
Come
want
into the
we
sacred
didn't want
pool.
to disturb you, and it was definitely a relaxing view. They seem to be very intelligent creatures.
They are mostly annoyed by the incursion of creatures that are in the bay.
Well, we came to speak to you about that, so perhaps we can help.
What creatures are you referring to?
Oh, a variety of sharks and their masters.
Yeah, well, that's what we're.
They're eating all the fish, and so my friends are a bit annoyed by this. But as I
We're
pointed
here to
out to
solve
them,
that problem.
as I pointed out to them, each of the creatures of the ocean gets to have their turn. I take no sides.
I'm Marcus of the Widowmaker. This is
Priestess
our
Melora of her water of the water goddess Hinari. She kind of turns and Hylough, you literally are about to say something, and she turns and kind of walks and starts to walk in. Like, you notice now that there's some steps going down into the water, and she starts stepping into the water and going down into it. After a little bit, she kind of turns and says, "Do you care for a swim?" And she dives into the pool of water for a bit, and she starts swimming around and a few things like that.
Rhux?
What do you guys
Rhux will definitely swim. Rhux loves to swim. Swimming is fun.
All right, so Rhux, you go and get into this pool of water and kind of start swimming around. At a certain point, she gets kind of close to you, and she cocks her head a little bit at you, and she's like, "The goddess is confused by you, Alec. She notices your strength of your fervor towards the ocean and towards the water, but she doesn't understand why it is not directed at her." And before you can answer, she kind of dives under the water and swims away. You notice that she swims faster than you do.
Well, she's small.
What does small have to do with anything?
I don't know. Maybe she's more
fast.
aerodynamic in the water.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm gonna strip down on my skivvies and jump
takes
in.
Takes a lot of effort to move around. A 6 foot.
I'll kneel by the edge of the pool. I won't get in.
Anybody else
I'll do
doing
the
anything?
same as that. I'm not going to be swimming, but I'll
Okay.
like hang out near the edge.
All right, Praedyth, Dresd'a. You guys doing anything? Or are you just gonna watch this?
No, Praedyth's just gonna see this out.
Praedyth's gonna start preaching.
Observing. He's taking notes on how they structure their organization for when he gets more followers.
So far, all you've seen is just her. You don't see anybody else.
Well, then
Praedyth's here to preach.
maybe that's the lesson here. Nobody.
Iylis, are you doing anything?
I am just kind of browsing, watching.
Okay, no, that's fine. She swims for about another 5 minutes before then she kind of gets back up onto the thing. And those of you who do go swimming with her, so Rhux and Hylough, when you're done, you feel very refreshed. Like it's amazing how just spending that time swimming around in the water, letting the pressures of the day just slip away. You feel very refreshed.
Oh, great, guys.
You basically have just gained the benefit of a long rest without actually resting.
Well done.
But
I'm
at the
coming
same time,
here all the
at
time.
the same time, you
don't-
didn't need it, so it's not really
Right.
changing anything. But she kind of comes up and sits on the thing with keeping her feet in the water, and she looks at you guys again and says, Hi, my name is Melora, priestess here. What can I do for you?
We have a shark infestation on land.
Yeah,
and
land
we're
shark.
trying to figure out what they want. They claim that that somebody took something from them. We'd like to get it back to them, and so that they would leave, they not leave us alone and not destroy everything.
I've never heard of a shark on land before.
Well, you know those. What are they called? The sea devils.
Sea devils.
Oh! You mean what the family of dolphins was complaining about?
Yes.
I see. They're not sea devils.
Well, I'm sure you have a better name.
They are Sahuagin.
That's it.
I'll remove sea devils.
They are an apex predator in the sea. I will grant you that. But for the most part, they can't survive on land for more than a few hours without breathing in water of some sort. So they really have no reason to be on here other than as a potential food source if needed. But there's plenty of fish and things in the sea where they currently live. You're saying they're here for some reason.
The King Suhagan. Yeah, they came on land with a bunch of them came on land last night, killed a lot of the guard and innocent civilians, and kept repeating that to return what somebody took. We could not get out of them what it was that they wanted, and we're trying to figure that out and see if we can get it back to them.
Oh, that seems like a lot.
It is.
You're not wrong.
Can the dolphins find out? Talk to them? Somebody talk to them?
No, they don't speak with dolphins. The dolphins. This is the third time this week that they've been talking to me about them. It's actually getting kind of tiresome, actually. They know I can't do anything. It's not in my nature.
Yeah, but we could help them out by giving them what they want so that they go back to where they live. And the dolphins could be happier. You want the dolphins to be happy, don't you?
Well, they actually are pretty happy. They just would like more food. The Sohagan are eating up the fish in the bay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this would return it to the natural order then. Perhaps.
Still natural even for them to be here. They've been here before. Several years ago.
Well, we kind of don't like them eating us. So we'd like to.
Fair enough. So you say they're looking for something.
Somebody took something from them, apparently. They want it back. We have no idea what it was. They searched warehouses.
So why do you think I would know what they want?
Because you're in touch. Because you're awesome.
So
flattery and all that is fine, but I don't have any insight into these creatures any more than you do.
We believe perhaps maybe an egg. We have potentially found evidence of perhaps how they reproduce, or there was a blue tint mark left on a dock from an individual who fishes that area.
You're talking about that salvage man, Leon.
Yes.
Yes, he is known to me. He defiles and spoils my mistress's gifts.
He mentioned that he in lean times takes what type of fish?
He just said a bluefish.
A bluefish, but this was a large, almost an egg.
You don't know if it was an egg. You just saw a round.
Well, I know a brown blue, but I'm just guessing. Almost an egg. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Or blue pearl.
Just describe what we saw, which was a splat on the ground.
Yeah, she's like, give me a moment. And she seems to sit for a second and splashes a bit of water on her face, and then you hear her kind of click and chirp for a moment and that sort of stuff. And then she kind of opens her eyes again for a second, and she's like, do you need any refreshment?
I would never turn down refreshment.
Give me one moment. And she whistles. It's an odd kind of haunting whistling. And two other people come out from the temple, from one of the sides that's away from you guys. And,
there they are.
They're wearing sort of a similar garb, but they're not pale, like this palish blue like she is. They're both women. One seems to be maybe a diary woman. The other one looks to be half elven, possibly. There's definitely a slight point to her ears. And they come over and whisper to Melora for a moment, and then she says, yes, bring the peach nectar, please. Yes, that will work for them. Well, the calm will be restored soon enough. And the two of them head off back towards the temple. So you believe, well, do any of you have children?
No.
Can't say that
We
I
have-
do.
He says with an alarm.
We have Praedyth.
Can't say I do.
Well, I mean, I guess the question I'm asking is, what would you want to protect or want back more than anything else in the world? So much so that you would forego your normal instincts and speak with your prey.
Probably
So
my child.
I got to
Yeah,
step
so-
away just a second. Our
Yeah.
horns blowing.
so you think a baby?
Well, you describe a stain on a ground of bluish green.
Mhm.
The Suhagen's blood is a bluish green. And they are fish. As much as you might think of them as bipedal creatures, humanoids, or anything of that nature, they are not. They are fish. And fish spawn their roe. And this is how they reproduce. The roe of the Suhagen is much larger. It is approximately, if you were to look at a salmon or a sunfish or something of that nature, it's maybe the size of a marble at the most. But that of a Suhagen is the size of a grapefruit. It's quite large. Because fish, when they burst from their egg, they have to defend for themselves immediately. And these are apex predators. So they quickly learn to fend for themselves and fight and eat that around them, to the point where sometimes they eat each other. Survival of the fittest and all.
Yeah. So do you know that a child was taken for a fact, or are you just using your wisdom to come to this conclusion
I
that this is
don't know if
probably
a child has been taken or anything like that. And based on what you are saying, if this is true at all, they didn't take a child; they took their eggs.
right? Okay.
At this point in time, the other two women have come back out, and they're carrying a pitcher of something and some glasses, and they start pouring some stuff in and start handing it out to each of you. She says, when these creatures burst from their eggs, they're the size of a small puppy. It's the best I can kind of give for you.
How long does it take for them to burst?
Well, like most fish in the sea, it's usually a 2 or 3 week gestation, 2 or 3 weeks from laying of the eggs to the creature being born, so to speak. And let's be honest, most life in the sea expects a certain amount of their young to not survive for very long. Just because, again, survival of the fittest. So most fish have clutches of eggs in that number anywhere from 20 to 1,000. So
Okay,
So
so
it's more than one egg then, or it's a whole.
well, I mean, remember, it's I'm trying to say mathematics from a woman who doesn't understand mathematics. Again, survival of the fittest. There's an expectation that many of their young will not survive to adulthood. So to combat that, they have lots of young.
So somebody probably came and took all of them, or took a large portion of them. So, do you happen to know this? If this salvage guy, can't remember the thing.
Lion.
Yeah, if he took these, do you happen to know who he might have sold them to? Because we couldn't tell that there was any in his warehouse at the time we went by.
No, I avoid the man.
Yeah.
So I do not know who he would have sold something to, but these creatures are intelligent. So being sold to, if someone were to train them, let's say, they could be used for something nefarious or not, depending on who they were sold to.
Weapons of destruction.
But you say, what was the creature that was speaking? You guys
really
take a
big
drink
guy.
of the thing, and it's just like not super sweet, but it's a peach drink that tastes nice. I mean, but it's not like overly sweet, and it's very refreshing.
The only one that spoke was like a much larger Sohagan with multiple arms, like doubled it, like 4 arms instead of 2.
This is the very first time that you've seen her kind of look perplexed. Like, for the most part, this woman is very
serene,
mercurial. Like, she doesn't seem to have a care in the world. I mean, it's very clear so far that she's struggled a little bit to keep focus in some sense, because she kind of drifts off every so often and just stops talking for a bit.
I thought she was doing a Dory thing earlier that she introduced herself twice.
Well, because again, she's got a little bit of a
right.
She's got a bit of ADD, kind of like water, flows where it will. She looks perplexed for a minute. She says, "Are you sure it was one of the 4-armed, one of the barons?"
Yes, he chucked a trident at me. I
Yeah,
held
in
it.
fact, we have
Actually,
this
chucked the
trident.
trident at Dresd'a, actually.
That's right. He chucked it at Dresd'a, but he
But
beat
this
the
is-
crap out of me.
Yeah.
But this is the trident. We can show her.
Yeah. He threw it at one of us.
She looks at the trident and it's like, she thinks for a moment, and she's, no. Oh, this would explain. This whole discussion
Anything you can tell us
has
would help.
confused me. Has not confused me. Has been perplexing in the sense that if it was just the normal row of the Sohagan, why would they care who took it? It's just typical warriors and mates and things of that nature, and they expect their young to die. Like, of a 50 egg clutch, they might expect only 10 to survive. But if you say a baron showed up,
yeah, is it possible it's like royalty or something that was?
then it might be the ruling caste spawn, and that only comes around once a decade.
That would matter.
This is
A bit
more
more.
disturbing. Even that, they wouldn't expect them all to survive, but more to the point, if someone were to have bought these and knows what they are, then they could, the four-armed ones, the barons, and they're like the lords, the shamans, they actually can survive on land. They don't need to be in the water every so often. They could be turned into quite
An
the
army or a leader.
quite the bodyguard or quite the army, as you're saying. They would have to spawn in the water again, but that's no matter. It's not for me to worry about.
Is there a way? Do they need something? Even the royalty, you say the ones cannot survive outside of the water, but is there something the royalty needs to eat, or just some type of way to?
They're just creatures. They fish, turtles, humans. Any of these things would, or any of these things would suffice for their diet.
Do they survive? Do they survive the elements well? Do they come out as this cold or heat?
Well,
anything
these
preferable?
when they first come out, they would need to be in the water, yes, for a bit, to grow and gain. They're too large for their body to support itself on land, so they would have to swim for a bit to gain strength.
And they would need probably more than just a small tank. They would need a larger area.
For a time, I would be willing to bet that maybe within 3 months or so, they would probably be strong enough to support themselves on land. It seems odd, though. The clutch of this nature would normally be hidden somewhere not anywhere near the main city in case of rivals and things of that nature, and very heavily guarded.
They mentioned something about is it short god?
Shaloka.
Shaluka. But the one who did not understand us, but we could understand some of his.
Shalota is just their god. A vicious creature.
He doesn't war against the other gods, or it's just a force of nature?
Force of nature more than anything.
So it's probably not a crusade or religious, or it's not some chosen one.
More than, like I say, it's probably just the royal clutch.
Can they survive? Do they only survive in salt water, or can they survive in fresh water as well?
I do not know, actually. Do not know.
We put salt water in the one we had, right? And that was
you meant just in general.
Yeah. Well, no, I actually meant that one, but if the ones, it would make sense if like we put fresh water on it and it had squealed, then the royal ones may not like fresh water either. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I guess we need to go find somebody who.
We either need to figure out if there's like private water somewhere, or someone has like a big tank
or a pool.
Would your goddess give us some guidance on this? I mean, some for creatures, it's disturbing the ocean.
Why?
Why would she give one? Oh, perhaps she does.
This is the natural order of things. The creatures are doing what they need to do to survive.
But if a human being interrupted that, it's just like if humans came and
natural
fished.
Order of things. Humans eat fish as well. Should I expect my goddess to go and punish the humans for fishing in the bay and eating the fish?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
She's got a point there.
Suppose the only other thing we can do is go find this guy again and interrogate him a little harder.
Well, we got a couple of things, but yeah, it's. I can't think of. Do we have any other things to ask her?
Do you like the peach nectar?
It's very
delicious. Very refreshing.
Then go with the blessing of Inari. And,
Thank you. And
do what you need to do for the survival of you and yours.
Y'all take contributions
thank you.
to your
Donations
cause?
or
Of course, we will always take donations.
Is a donation box? Do we see a donation box or any place that obviously we can?
Nothing obvious, but I mean, you could probably just set it down on the stone or something. I mean, you don't get the feeling that, like she's like, sure, we'll take some money, but it's not like you feel like she's
asking for it. Yeah,
asking for it.
She's not passing the plate,
correct,
or the shell in this case.
And let's be honest, Rhux more than Hylough. Rhux, when you were swimming around in the pool was actually about 15 feet deep, and there was in one side of it there was a pretty good forest of seaweed. So more than likely they use that to eat and things like that. So
yeah,
more than likely the goddess is providing.
Okay. I guess we'll save our money. I would say if we had a pearl, it'd be perfect. We could really give into a pearl, but that's probably useless to someone who can
ask her if she will take donations
I'm
and then
gonna
not give her a donation.
No, I know. Yeah,
I'm giving her a couple of gold or putting it down somewhere.
Yeah, I'll throw a couple gold on there as well. I'm trying to think of something that would be located in the sea that would be better, but
she doesn't seem to care one way.
Nah, she probably won't even remember who gave it to her after we leave. To be honest,
who knows?
But the goddess
I think
might.
She's smoking seaweed. I think is what she's doing.
Good luck.
All right.
I know.
Thank you.
You know,
and you as well,
and also with you. Yeah.
I think we're. I think we should go back and report to the captain.
Yeah.
What time of day is it? Do we have?
It is a little past.
Because they said
midday.
the evening.
It was a little past midday.
I mean, because we have enough information that he could help us direct us to the next step. Because maybe
we could ask him to either bring in the guy, or we could ask him if he knows there's people who buy this type of stuff,
or who has the facilities to keep the row.
Yeah, that stuff too.
Well, and remember, we could find out what happened to the last one. Remember the one he just sold it to? He gave us a name.
He did?
Yeah,
that was for the bluefish or whatever.
Right, but if these bluefish, it may be.
Yeah, he did
similar
say
thing,
it was a
but
bluefish, but up to you.
He did or did not say.
Yeah,
it was
he
bluefish?
mentioned that he had sold a bluefish to a Martin's Club.
Okay. Yeah.
It's possible that if the eggs blended in with the fish, they didn't even know it was in there.
Or just someone who loves ocean things and be interested. But yeah, I guess we'll talk to the commander and see.
All right, so you guys.
I think he knows what he's done.
Head away from the
probably
from the temple to Hainari and continue. You head back around, cross back over the river into the dock district.
I was thinking there was something else
takes
here.
About 15 minutes. Well,
there was something else on the shore. I thought that we were maybe interested in.
That I know of, but.
The other thing I forgot is, are we selling stuff here? I forget. This is one of our destinations we were
Yeah, we
sell.
still have some beer to sell.
Yeah, you have whatever you want.
Oh, we're gonna go by the bank on the way. See if they could. Yeah. So if we find a bank along the way.
Was there a job here? Was that one of the
No, all the jobs are.
They're all on the other side.
They were clearly mostly cargo jobs, like things like that.
Okay, I don't know why I was thinking I had something here.
I don't know.
No idea. Never mind.
Okay, you guys.
Oh, we were going to talk to the fisherman.
Well, there are two fishermen on this side. Yes.
Yeah, this fisherman who would fish in that area. What was his name? Iesto, i.e. Easton, and Seleno. Yeah, no, I'm slaughtering the prey. I'm slaughtering the protect. I just spell it like I hear it. Now I know. I'm just
Seleno and Easton.
Right, and Easton was the one who fishes the Devil Cities. So while we're here, we should talk to him probably. Devil Shoals.
You want?
If we want to, but I mean, we're here.
You can try to find him.
He may be
if
out
he's
at
here,
sea.
we should talk to him. Seems like he'd know stuff.
So let's go down to the dock.
Right. You head down to the docks. The docks on the side are a bit more ramshackle. You're on the side where the squalls are. So the docks kind of head into the squalls, which is definitely very ramshackle and things of that nature. You get along the docks and it's sort of midday-ish, and most of the fishermen are either it's midday. Most of the fishermen are actually in the fish market selling their fish from the morning catch. So
okay,
well, I'll try to look around and see if you can find him.
Yeah, look around, and I'll also ask about the guy whose ship we found.
The little boat
fishing boat.
Okay. You guys ask around, and remember there were two guys, Solano and Iaston. Who do you want to look around for first?
I was going to look at Iaston. Name came up more, I think, but we could look for you. I'll ask about him first.
All right. As you kind of are walking through and talking around, finally you find somebody. Like, you guys are not. You definitely look like you're not from around here, so it takes you a bit before somebody actually really starts to give you the time of day, especially when you're asking after a local. But eventually, a guy's like, "Oh, Iaston. Oh yeah, he's probably fishing the shoals today."
Yes, that's actually what we were thinking. Maybe going out there and learning more about it and understand he's the person to speak to. There was another one, Seleno,
yeah.
Soleno, I think, is probably in the market. I believe he did some fishing in the bay today.
Huh. Well,
catch has been a little bit better today than it was the day before, which is a little weird, but whatever.
Maybe, do you think they were running from the sharks and the fish, or maybe they left the sea devils?
Maybe. I don't know.
Did they come here, the sea devils? Looking around, are there signs of destruction or anything?
You don't see any signs of them over here. But, I mean, the attack happened last night. It's now midday. I mean, if there was any damage, most of the fishermen probably would have dealt with it already. And it's hard to tell. It's pretty ramshackle around here, so it's hard to tell what might be shark damage and what might be just regular damage. You can give me a perception check, though.
I've got my investigation expertise, and now I never use it.
Well, you're just kind of glancing around. That's all.
No, I know.
Yeah, actually, it's better than I thought it was. Yeah, you do notice a few potentially fresh stains of maybe a bluish color, but mostly been cleaned off of the decking of the docks as you kind of look around. So it definitely probably was some portion of an attack here, but they're pretty hardy folk, and
they fought it off, and it wasn't.
They either fought it off or just moved on with life.
Yeah, when you're on the edge of dying every day, it's not a big deal when something else happens.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep, he's probably in the fish market if you want to try to find him.
And where is the fish market? Is it?
You literally walked by it when you were on the way.
Okay, that's what I'm finding out. We're there then.
Remember, I mentioned about the open air market and people hawking their wares.
I know. It's just all the markets are blending.
There's only one fish market.
Well, I can smell it. I'll follow the scent.
Yeah.
Actually, in a port city, you probably can't even do that.
Probably not. So what are you guys doing next?
So you guys want to go see Solano and see Solano?
Yeah, we can go see him. He's in the market, so he's probably here. And then we should probably head to the guard house.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys
look for a bank on the way.
The ATM.
You guys continue heading in the direction of where you would need to go anyway to get to the other side. And pretty quickly, within about 5 minutes, come across the fish market. I mean, you walk right along the edge of it. The fish market is maybe about The size of a football field, like almost literally the size of a football field. So there's lots of stalls, and there's actually quite a few people kind of moving in and out amongst the stuff. How do you want to go about looking for Soleno?
I'm assuming there aren't any actual name tags or any type of
Yeah, everybody has a little thing.
signs
Hello,
over
my name
each.
is.
No,
Hello, my name is
signs
Ageldo.
over each of the
No.
stalls or anything.
No,
My name is Wiki
He's a-
Wiki
he's a
Slim
fisherman, so
Shady.
more than likely he's selling fish. So that at least
Oh, yeah,
narrows
that-
down the.
But in the
stalls that
fish
it could be.
market,
Well, not everybody here is selling fish. I mean, it's called the fish market because this is where the fishermen sell their fish. But it's more than just that. It literally is an open air market with a lot of different things.
all right, so
Do
I'll
the
try.
bay fish smell different from the rest of
I'll
the
just
fish?
try persuasion to find if someone will tell me where he is.
Right? So you head into the throng.
Yes.
All right.
Clutching my wallet and my.
And start heading down some of the rows, kind of going through. I mean, you don't have to persuade anybody. You can literally just do a search. I mean, there's only so many fish stalls in the place, and he's probably got to be at one of them.
Right. So yeah, that's
So
what I'll do.
you start going back and forth. As you guys are kind of going through here, and eventually you do find a spot where there indeed. There's like several of the fishermen clearly are all in a similar spot. And when you ask for a Soleno in there, one guy's like, "That's me. What do you need?"
So, hey, I'm Marcus. We're here to discuss. We understand you fish off of the. Damn, I didn't write that down.
Devil shoals.
Devil shoals.
Right,
too much
occasionally,
down.
but not very much.
Well, we're
Kinda
trying
dangerous.
We're here. We're helping the guard. We're trying to find out what happened yesterday and understand the devils are from there, and we were hoping maybe you could tell us, is there anything different there or something happened to bring them
Pretty
here?
rocky.
Do you see them when you're fishing?
I see some shark fins.
But the actual creatures leave you alone.
Oh, I haven't seen any of the creatures. Last night was the first time I've ever seen them.
Really?
Yeah.
But the legends, they don't.
If they live there, they
Cost every
don't do
vehicle?
anything to me. But I haven't been there in like a month, so who knows? I don't go there very often. Only when the fishing around here is super dried up, which doesn't happen too often. And occasionally I do it just for fun.
Just for fun because. Oh. Go ahead.
Do you ever pull up artifacts and stuff like that? And
No, I fish.
well, yeah, I know.
Throw out
but-
a net, pull it up at the end of the day.
Yeah, and then there's always things that get caught in your net that you don't want. So,
Sure.
So I didn't know if there was happened to be artifacts or something like that you might.
Don't know of too many artifacts that float.
Yeah, well,
You should.
Got you there.
You really should talk to. No, I forgot his name.
Iaston.
Iaston. He goes and dives for pearls.
Yeah, well, we were going to talk to him, but he's out, so we thought we'd.
He's out today. That's right. He's out there diving for pearls. Probably trying to get some for the festival.
Okay.
Cool. Do you ever see the salvage vessels out there? I'm saying he's the other person we thought we might talk to.
Every now and again. In fact, the last time I was out there, one of them was out there. Yeah.
So are they out there often, or just so we should be talking to him?
I don't
you
know.
think?
I'm not off there. I'm only out there every so often. But the last time I was there was definitely a guy there. Somebody was there. They were diving off of one of the reefs. Come to think of it, they left early too.
You haven't noticed what they were pulling up?
No, they
Okay.
were kind of far away. But they normally go the whole day, but I think if I remember, they left like a little past noon.
Hmm.
A little past lunch.
If we have a ship, could you show us where that reef is? For a fee, of course.
Sure.
Well, we do have a ship, but
I know. I'm just.
I guess. I don't know why you'd want to go there though.
But we're just trying to see why the devils are out.
Oh, because they want to eat us. He says very matter of factly.
Yes, but there was one further in town who was saying to bring it back, to return something.
They don't talk. They just eat you.
Well, I did have quite a bit to drink, so perhaps that's why. But it seemed to me like that was what it was being said.
He kind of looks at you like you're a little daft. He's like, they just try to eat you. That's it. You just gotta stay away from them. None of them talk.
What about the legendary ones with the? What about the ones with the 4 arms?
Never seen one with 4 arms. What are you talking about?
he's just
They're
saying
like they're like about 5 feet tall. They got some fins on their back. They're green, strange teeth. That's all they are. They don't run very fast on land, so you just gotta be the faster person.
But if they catch you, they certainly could do damage.
They definitely eat you. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you. I've taken enough of your time.
You want to buy some fish? Catch was pretty good today.
Yeah, I'll take some for dinner or lunch, I guess.
Do we actually need fish?
No, probably not. But we've wasted some of his time, so
Yeah.
I'll buy some fish.
He sells you basically some, like some red snapper or something like that for, a couple copper or a couple. Yeah, probably like 5 copper.
Okay. I will take silver off and. All right. Well, thank you.
You're gonna spend silver?
if we do wish you to take us to that area, shall we come meet you here, or are you down at the docks? Where would be the easiest place?
Depends on the time of day. Like in the morning, we go out fishing because we gotta get the fish to sell here during the fish time, and then at the evening I go out fishing because I gotta get the fish so I can have my own fish to eat. Yeah, basically a fish morning and
yeah, fish morning and evening when they actually bite.
Yep, exactly. So, but yeah, you could probably, like, if you get there mid-morning, we'll probably be back from the morning fishing. And I guess if you buy my catch, then you have me for the rest of the day.
Excellent. Well, thank you.
Oh,
thank you for your help.
Thank you for buying some fish. At the same time, Dresd'a, while they're having this discussion, you're kind of just looking around, not really paying too much attention to that. When a strange, I don't know, man, maybe about 4 feet 10 or something like that, kind of got some pock marks on his face, a few boils on him, kind of trundles up to you and kind of looks at you and says, "Do you want to look for buried treasure?"
Heck yeah.
I've got a map. Got a map to buried treasure. And I'll sell it to you for 5 gold marks.
This is a scam.
You want it?
Not for 5 gold marks, thanks very much.
Sure. It's a real treasure map.
Why don't you find it yourself?
Because I don't got a ship, and I got it.
Persuade him to give me the map and come on board as part of the crew.
If you want to try to persuade him, sure.
I do.
Nice.
No, I don't want to get on a ship. I get seasick. I just want you to buy the map.
Don't you want to find the treasure and split it? It's got to be worth
5
a lot more
gold
than 5
is
gold.
enough treasure for me.
Well,
He kind of pulls out literally a kind of folded up piece of paper. No, it doesn't look. Actually, the more you look at it, it doesn't look like paper. Actually, it doesn't look quite right for paper. And he kind of unfolds it, and sure enough, there is some kind of map on there. There's some stains on it, maybe blood stains. You're not sure. There's a couple scratches in it and some rips in it. Give me a quick knowledge history check.
A what check?
Knowledge history.
Knowledge history.
Yeah. A history check. You kind of recognize what you think is maybe the southwestern portion of Nyarveen, or the southwestern portion of the Sea of Tears on it. Maybe it's hard to tell exactly.
Don, call Jack.
So it does kind of look like an actual map of some sort, but
look, it's kind of a risk for 5 gold. Can I talk you down to 3? Because, we are taking a risk that, this is not a real map. We don't know you from Adam.
I know you from Eve.
It doesn't matter. You're the one trying to get our gold. We don't know if we're just giving you gold for something that's fake.
Well, give me another persuasion roll now that you're trying to negotiate down a price.
Yeah, not doing very well.
Where did you get the map?
3 gold.
Where'd you get the map?
Did you have the 3 gold? Let me see the 3 gold.
Who's got the money?
You don't have 3 gold? I could have sworn that.
I don't know. I've been trying to find that out all night.
I gave you.
I have 3 gold.
3 platinum.
Oh.
Okay. I'll show him. I'll hold out 3 gold away from him.
He eyes it for a bit, and it's about that time that Soleno is talking about if you buy all of his catch, you have him for the rest of the day. And he's like, this guy is like, yeah, I'll sell for 3 gold. And he holds out the map.
Is he acting funny when he sees the dude?
No, he's not looking at the dude. He's looking at the gold.
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving you context of approximately what time this was going on with the rest of the conversation.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll give him the 3 gold for the map.
You give him the 3 gold, and he gives you the map, and he's like,
sucker.
He's like, "Go, thank you," and he trundles back off into the crowd.
So can I look at the map and research it to, I don't know, see if it's genuine? Does it look old?
Well, I mean, it definitely looked like I told you before. It looked like it has part of, like it has a portion of the Sea of Tears on it. It's going to take you a bit to look it over and do some stuff with it. Do you want to do that here in the market? I'm asking. I mean, you can. Like at this point in time, the conversation with Soleno is done at the same time. So Marcus kind of looks up and is like,
yeah, I'll study it.
All right. So Dresd'a starts studying this piece of paper, which now that you feel it, doesn't feel like paper. It feels kind of leather-like, actually.
Human skin. Someone call me?
Rhux looks at it.
Oh.
Rhux asked you what you got, so.
Hey,
Marcus
well, it's a map. I just paid money for it. Does he ask to see it?
I mean, I'm going to look at it. I would like to look at it.
Yeah, here, I'll let him look at it.
It looks kind of like a map. You feel the it's not paper, though, that's for sure. It feels more leather-like, but it's a little too thin to be like cow leather or something like that.
Can I do a check to see if it makes sense with my knowledge of what the map looks like? Of what the world looks like?
Yeah, sure. Give me a history check.
I already did. It looks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's actually 2 maps on here from the looks of it. One is more of an overview map, which definitely is the Sea of Tears. And the other one seems to be some small island where there seems to be sort of some kind of path on it. And there is an X marks the spot.
Does that look anything like the area where the pirates were hiding their loot that we found?
No.
Okay.
With the 20, Rhux looks at you and says, "This is a map to the Torrent Scaries."
What's that?
It's a location to the southeast, in the southwestern portion of the Sea of Tears. When
Oh,
you
if
reach the
someone-
Torrent Scaries, you better be scared because that leads to the end of the world.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a torrent, and it's pretty scary there.
Oh, there might be some treasure there if we got some time and want to go check it out.
Well, at least the map is real.
Yeah.
Somewhat real. It's showing potentially a real place. Whether it's real or not is up to you.
Do you think you
Don't
just
figure
showed
out.
us the map to an ambush?
That would be real convoluted. Because I have no idea whether we'd go there immediately. Just a
Ah.
random guy.
All right. Well, I grab my map back and wrap it up and stow it in my gear. Let's go find the others maybe the others want to go.
Well, we're all right here.
Yeah, you guys.
now-
What are you guys doing? The conversation
Imagine
has ended with
We go
Solana.
talk to the Capitan.
So where do you
Yeah,
want
we're
to
gonna go back. Yeah, we're gonna head to the captain of the guard and update him and look for a bank on the way.
All right, so you start heading for the captain. Looking for a bank. You don't see one. I mean, you're probably gonna have to ask around.
Okay. Well, we ask as we go by. So,
As you're asking around, you find that the nearest bank, like all the banks, are in the trades district, not along the docks or anything like that. So
yeah.
the closest one is from where you're at is going to be probably near where you were at with near the lawn.
Okay. But that's not out of the way or anything, right?
It's a little bit out of the way if you're going to see the captain. Like you don't necessarily have to go to the lawn just to get back to the captain.
Okay. Well, that's right. Well, let's get some. Let's figure out what kind of money we got. So let's do the bank first, and then we'll. It's not going to be that big of a deal. We'll figure out what these belts are worth.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, you guys continue on your way, and you head to where the people mention the map. And I just need to check something. Can figure out what I all gave you for that. I know I wrote it down. Just need to find it. It doesn't take you very long to get to the thing. Like it's again, it takes you maybe another 5 minutes to get to there from where you're at. There we go. So remember, from the battle, you guys on the ship, you still have 12 tridents of bone and coral, and you also got 12 belts of these 20 odd gold coins. So you guys come to what you were told is the bank. It's a pretty nondescript building. Looks of it. I mean, but it is. Again, one of these buildings that's made from stone. And heading inside, basically you walk into a room that is maybe about 15 feet in. When you walk in, you get 15 feet to basically a counter kind of thing. And it's about 30 feet side to side. And there is that 15 feet to the counter is got basically a metal wall there, almost like a jail cell kind of wall, a slatted metal wall, a cell wall. There we go. And someone looks. There's two guards on either side of the door, inside and outside. And you come in, and there's a nice young lady who looks up as you enter and says, "How may I help you? Welcome to Maribol First National." I'm just kidding.
First National.
I don't have a good name for it. I wasn't expecting you to go to a bank today.
Give me all your money now.
So we plop the belts up there and or whatever we got, these coins and things, and say, "What can you tell us what this is worth? Trade it for."
She looks at it
real
and
currency.
she says, she says, "Well, we can weigh it and see how much gold is actually there. I'll have to take all the pieces off of the strings here. And then
That's
she
fine.
realizes that they're not strings; they're actually probably sinew or something from some dead body. She's like, actually, you'll need to take them off of the strings,
Okay.
and then I can weigh it.
All right, we'll do that.
So you start taking all the coins off of the strings. She gets out basically a scales and sets it down there. And as you give her each coin, she kind of puts it on there and weighs each one. And you've got like 240 of these coins. You had 12 belts of 20 coins each. And she weighs it all out, and she's like, well, the amount of gold here, if it's solid, we'd have to figure that out. Based on what it is, and it seems like it is based on the size and the amount that each one weighs. It's probably about, I could give you 250 gold marks for it after our processing fee.
Processing fee.
Oh, you said 250?
Yeah.
Okay.
After the processing fee, so we'd get 250.
Yeah, net 250.
Yeah, after the processing fee. She's basically telling you what you would get net.
Cool. Well, that sounds good to me, guys. What do you think?
Okay.
How much is the processing
With
fee?
that, yeah.
No, it's already been taken in. It's 250 gold.
No. I'm wondering how
curious
much
how
she's
much-
taking off the top.
Okay, well,
Oh, it's actually a 50 gold fee.
50 gold.
Got him.
My
Well, that-
goodness. Can't we talk you into something lower?
I can just give them back to you if you'd like.
They're not
Gold, oh
spendable
my
the way they are.
God.
You have to convert them, you know.
I
It's-
have
it's
to
not-
create greed within the group.
well done.
I say
No,
don't let.
my uncle Morphear would be turning in his grave.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that your uncle is deceased, but this is just the rules as the.
No, he's not deceased. He just sleeps in a grave. Yeah.
She looks a
I
little
say ignore them,
confused.
and I tell you just do it.
Ignore them. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She's like, so she pulls out
Not-
a lockbox and unlocks it and counts out. Would you like it in a particular set of denomination?
Probably platinum would be easier to carry around.
Okay.
So, was there anything special about all of these coins? Were they all different, or were they all?
They you didn't recognize, like, they are. It's the best way to put it. Like, think of it as Spanish doubloons, like how they would look
Right.
today to you. You don't recognize the coin. You don't recognize what's on them. The language on them is weird. But there's.
Why don't we keep one or two just because, just to see?
We might have a chance to get more.
Well, I mean, just to keep one or two to see what they were. Because I mean, 1 gold isn't going to make a huge difference, I wouldn't think.
So you're going to keep some of them.
Just one of them, one of the gold coins.
Okay. You want to do this in platinum then, correct?
Yes, please.
All right. So she gives you 24 platinum and 8 gold pieces.
That's what I figured.
Okay.
It's very nice
We
doing
keep
business
one
with
of
you.
them.
And you keep one. All right. So group
Uh-uh.
sold 239
You're welcome.
of the gold coins.
49.
39. You had 20 of 12. 12 of 20. Just wait. Go through of the gold coins to the bank for 248 gold. There you go. Oh, and kept one.
Uh-huh.
So there you go.
Cool.
She says, pleasure doing business with you. Anytime you need any kind of thing of this nature in the future, keep Maribel First National in your mind.
How much is it to open an account? Do we want to open an account?
It is actually a small fee of 50 gold to open an account. But that comes with membership privileges.
Which are?
Don't leave
you can
home
get your
without it.
money from here and you can store it here.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Good
protected.
privilege.
It is protected 24/7 by guardsmen here.
What if they steal it?
Oh, we'll have to think about that. I just curious.
Okay.
Let's not get thrown out of the. We get thrown out of the wizards. The
Oh, you didn't get thrown out of the wizards.
no, I know.
Well, I did.
They probably aren't
but-
really happy to see us again. But all right, I think that's it. Unless I'm going to go ahead and go. You guys.
Marcus leaves. What are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm gonna skedaddle.
So you
as
guys
well.
head out. You now
Skedaddle.
are 248 gold pieces or gold marks more wealthy. At this point in
Let's
time, you're
go.
almost up to like 500 gold marks. Actually,
Yeah,
probably more than that, given everything you have.
I put it in my inventory, but I'm going to spread it around unless
Yep.
we. So anybody want to?
I want all of it so that I can buy a cool staff.
You don't even know what staves they have at the Silver Emporium, and you're not sure you're allowed back in there.
All I know is that the cheapest one is 600. So
The cheapest one of what? No, the cheapest thing of the wands, staves, and rods was 600. Not necessarily the cheapest staff.
oh well,
It's a
he was
wand.
misleading.
It's a wand
No,
of parting.
she
a
said it was
fool
anywhere
his
from
money.
600 to 5,000 gold pieces. She didn't specify if it was a staff or not.
Tell Iylis to. You're getting greedy.
I was
Iylis.
looking
Yeah,
at the. I was
you're
looking at the
getting-
staffs,
You were
And
looking.
then
You were
she-
in her.
and then
You were in the section which was
and I
rod,
told her
which
that
was rod
she
staffs and
wanted a
wands.
staff.
Well, the cheapest staff they had is way more than 600.
Well, and remember, we
Oh,
could use
well.
this to buy goods that we could then sell
I
elsewhere.
don't know.
Let's
what
be
you're
honest.
talking
The cheapest staff in the DMG is like several thousand gold. So it's not-
about. Yeah. No, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, ideally, I
had
would
a-
just find one.
The
So he had
cheapest
a real
staff
treasure.
is like 2,000 gold marks.
So he had a real treasure at one point before.
Yeah,
name?
no.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
staff of Arcasi was was the guys in the Silver Emporium would have probably paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
So you might want to go and
Maybe I
see
should
if you
go.
can find the pirates and try
Yeah,
to get it
you have fun with that.
Yeah.
My
I
next
think I will.
character will be
back.
because Marcus is going nowhere near that one.
We
Um,
got to hire ourselves a crew.
So you guys continue heading out, head back across the docks. Where are you heading after that?
Go to the report in.
All right,
Yep.
So you head to the
So
watch the guardhouse.
just to
and
kind
head on
of
in.
as
And as you
well,
come on
let
in,
me
there is a the drill sergeant is definitely drilling 5. They kind of look like new recruits based on how badly they're performing, and they also aren't really wearing the typical garb of the Argent Watch. You at this point in time, you know where the office of Captain Kewen is, so you go up and rap on the door, and after a bit, you hear kind of an exhausted. Who is it? What do you want now?
It's us. Your favorite mercenaries here.
He's like, who's? Oh, you guys! Come in.
a crew of
come
the
in,
Widowmaker, Marcus and a crew of the
Come in.
Widowmaker,
Come in. Come in. And you see him, and he,
officers of the
he looks
Widowmaker.
still as exhausted, if not more so. You sure he still hasn't slept yet?
We
Should've
still
brought
need
him
to buy him a sleep potion.
Oh,
that would be best.
Yeah, there you go.
with that
he's
citrus
like,
drink that we have.
You guys got any news or anything? I wasn't expecting you back until tomorrow. To be honest.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. We happen to believe we've researched. We think that somebody stole the royal robe.
The what?
The
eggs
royal
of-
Whoa.
Did you just make up a word?
The royal whoa.
The Royal
No, we're
Whoa.
just repeating what we've heard. So, the king and queen eggs,
Sea
Oh.
devils have a king and queen? Who have you?
that type, yeah, like royalty.
He's
type,
like,
you know.
oh my god, I need to sleep.
Yes, you do. Anyway,
All right,
what we're
if you
trying to
think
do
you
is
know what they're after, that's great. Do you know where it is?
we think that what's his name, the
the guy that we've mentioned his name like 3 times tonight.
yeah,
so
and I can't ever remember.
It's all right.
his
It's, all right.
Lion.
It's just funny. It's just
Lion Salvage.
Lion.
We think he's had something to do with
Gully, the salvage guy.
Yeah, we think he has something to do with it, but we don't know who. We think he's passed the stuff on. We don't know that we can force him to tell us. He's sold it on, and we don't know who would have the ability to keep these things. They would need some sort of tank or something to keep them in and to grow them in.
Okay.
Do you happen to know?
It's like, oh wow, this is a lot of info. Oh my god, my head is splitting open. Okay.
Maybe somebody could give him a healing.
No, he's just really tired because he probably hasn't slept in a while.
That would be a restoration.
Yeah, that would probably be a restoration. He's probably at least at 1, if not 2 points of exhaustion. He's like, all right, so I gave you the symbol thing. Why don't you just go question him?
We questioned him. He was we're just not sure how much force we could use because we think he's going to need a bit more.
Oh well, then arrest him if you think he's doing something wrong. Wink.
I'm sorry?
Arrest him if you think he's done something wrong. Bring him in.
All right. Okay. All right. We'll do
that.
We
suspect he's done something wrong. We have seen evidence of a blue substance, possibly the egg, at his docks.
Okay.
But we haven't seen, and he has said he sells fish, and we do know that his ship was seen out
sounds like a lot
in the
of
area
evidence to me.
Okay. All right. Well, that's we've just never done this before, so we're good. Okay. We'll go take care of it.
At this point in time, you have some witnesses to the ship. You said his ship was seen.
We have one witness who saw it. A fisherman. Soleno.
Okay.
But that was a month ago.
Okay.
But there is a lot of circumstantial things going on.
All right. Well, did you get when you talked to? You said you talked to him before, right? Lion, that is. Did you get any kind of name or anything from somebody for someone out of him?
We got the name of one he has sold one of these fish to.
Martin Schuyler.
Oh.
But we don't know that.
Really, Martin Sklar.
Sklar, yeah, that's it. Sklar.
Why would
we don't know that
why
he
would
bought
he buy fish? He's a plantation owner.
Collects them.
Oh, that makes big sense.
Slaves.
So be careful here. Be careful here. Slaves are not a thing in the Mirgal.
No, that was John saying it.
No, but Rhux said the same. Andy had the same thought too. He totally did. I'm just telling you. And just reminding you that slaves are not a thing or at least not supposed to be in Mirgal.
Okay.
They are outlawed in Mirgal.
Since we do think that in amongst the blue fish, because the eggs look similar to the fish in color, and we did talk to the priestess of Hinari.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she told us that the smaller ones, the smaller devils have to stay underwater. The larger ones, like the big blue one from yesterday, can live on land and are smart. So in theory, they could train them to be, guards or workers.
Which that would be what type of egg that they're probably looking for? One of the larger eggs.
Then they wouldn't be slaves. They would be beasts of burden.
Not the point.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a slave then.
Does the plantation owner have water on a lagoon or?
No, but he does have a warehouse along the river.
Well,
it's not
too that's where we should start
not too
first.
Far from here, actually. But you said he was sold fish.
A certain type of fish. It was the blue
sunfish.
Sunfish.
That's what was admitted to.
Okay.
So now it could be somebody else that Lion is not telling us about.
Oh, wow, this is so convoluted for my sleep-deprived brain, or mind. I don't know if he'd know about brains. All right, I leave it up to you guys. It sounds like you got some good leads.
Okay, so we could go to Sklar's warehouse.
Yeah, he's got a warehouse. It's on the waterfront where the river kind of meets the bay. It's actually not too far from the Silver Flame. It's not too far from not too far from where you're docked, actually.
Right. And do we have? Can we just? If nobody's in there, do we have the permission to break in, or what do we need to do?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Love it.
You're not a guard. You can't get in trouble for that. Although, I don't know, maybe one of the justices would probably have a problem with that. But
we got the badge.
It seems unlikely, though, that his warehouse would be unguarded. I mean, more than likely, he's got at least a guard there that would potentially let you in.
Does he seem like the type that would be involved?
Well, he's an older gentleman, really kind of thin. So he just runs a plantation. It seems like, I guess I could see where he might want fish. He's the kind of collector kind of type, I guess. But I've only spoken with him twice. Once when his warehouse was broken into about, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. Oh wait, no, 2 years ago was the fire that burned it down. It was 3 or 4 years ago that he had the break-in. But I haven't spoken to him since they rebuilt it a couple of years back.
The fire didn't happen at similar time to the last time the Sea Devils were here, did it?
No. This was at a different. No, the Sea Devils. Okay. Yeah, it was a different time. Just happened to be similar time frame, but different time. Since they rebuilt it, I haven't had a cause to go there. He hasn't complained about anything or anything like that. But I mean, the couple times I have talked to him, it's hard to remember. He's a little weird, a little odd kind of man. But
does anyone inspect though? Do we have inspect the warehouses when they're built or plans that we could?
No, why would we do that?
Just curious. Some places do this.
Some places do this. What are you talking about?
Sure, why not?
Yes, if you go to the lawn, there is a civic building that has all the plans for every single building in the city, including all the ones in the squalls. Yes.
Hey, 100%. They have artificers, so you can't tell me this. Something might happen. Flying ships.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that no, they don't. No, I know. They don't have it for this particular thing. You are correct. It's a reasonable question to ask. They didn't.
Oh, I got it. He's tired. I'm not offended at all.
Yeah. It's an interesting question though. No, not that I know of. Why would you ask that?
Oh, just perhaps there was some, just to see what it was like, the chambers inside, in case there was something hidden or smuggling or any of those type of things. I understand.
The warehouse is built with let's see, there's a warehouse, and then around the warehouse there's some shops built around. So I think there's like a small little waterfront cafe kind of thing. I don't know how it does any business around here, but it seems to be working out. There's a horse blacksmith, horse shoer. There's a bakery, I think there.
And they're all owned by him?
Well, I don't know. He owns the building. Maybe he just rents it out to these people. There's a butcher there, and I think a pottery maker, whatever they're called. You know, people who make pots.
A podcaster.
Clay pot guy.
Podcaster.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I remember there is a report that there was some damage there from an attack on that spot. Now that I think about it, but that was a report from the cafe guy, not from the owner of the warehouse.
He may have wanted to keep it covered up, then not had too many eyes look at it.
Or he could have been out at his plantation maybe and hasn't learned about it yet.
Could be, but mine sounds more like a potential reason to investigate.
Fair enough. Like how you're thinking. You want to join the
okay.
guard?
I think I'm struggling enough on this one. Well, my fate is in the sea, but for now it is intertwined with the city. So let's do this.
All right. Let me know how it goes.
Thank you, though. Of course.
And you guys head out. What are you doing
Yes.
next?
Oh my gosh, who knows?
You got two. You've sort of stumbled upon two options at this point, based on what I've been hearing. One is go talk to Lion again. Maybe confront him or something. I don't know. And the other one is go look at this warehouse.
I don't think confronting Lion's going to help, especially because he can just, if we have more evidence or more type of things, it's pretty easy to. I don't think we have anybody who could break him in a verbal spat. And he's definitely probably not the type to do that. So I would say we should investigate the warehouse. And I thought about maybe buying that invisibility potion to go into Lion's the area he's storing things in, maybe find something there. It only lasts a minute, though. That's the trouble with an invisibility potion. But
I don't know that we need. It sounds like that we've been given the authority to use the brute force to just go in and we can arrest them. We could search the place if we wanted to. We could do whatever we wanted to do. I don't think we have to be real subtle here.
We don't have to be. Sometimes a scalpel does work better than a scimitar.
A warhammer is what I'm thinking here. Let's do it. But I mean, we could go check out the other warehouse. But I'm
Well, why don't we do that first, and then we'll see.
Because he said, I mean, guy said, bring him in.
He did.
We have a lot of evidence that at least we could scare him, maybe scare a confession out of him about where he sold it, who he sold it to.
Yep. So let's go. My vote is the other warehouse first. It's been damaged potentially, and let's investigate that first.
Sure.
All right.
Any other votes? Any other thoughts?
I like that idea.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Also, we could eat at the breakfast place, the food place.
It's cafe.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys head out and head past the Silver Flame again. Basically, what he told you is that continue past when you get to where the docks head north. It's not too much farther up that way, and it takes you maybe 10 minutes to get to where you're going, and you reach this place. Put it in walls? Yes, I put it in walls. I'm just not seeing them on my side, and you guys don't have a thing yet. So give me a moment, and I will add you to the map.
Oh, we're in the right place. He's got a map.
Nah, I have maps for lots of things.
That's not metagaming at all.
I have maps for lots of things.
No, I know. But it's funny when you're in a D&D game on person and the DM starts mapping out something. You're like, oh, something's going to happen.
Yeah, we didn't have a bank.
Well, because I didn't expect you to go to the bank.
I know.
That's the only reason why you didn't have a bank.
I forgot to ask the priestess to look at this stupid these black axes.
You
see if
did.
they're cursed. That's unfortunate.
All right, you guys are in the map.
So the person who complained of the damage was the person in the
was the cafe owner, and from where you're currently
owner.
standing, you see a sign for a cafe right over here.
So let's go there.
You don't have to move anywhere on the map. This is just
Okay.
to start giving you an idea of what's going on. So what you see, it's hard to. I forget to put in? I really did forget to put in a wall there. Did I? Why can you see through that wall?
That was what was destroyed.
It wasn't destroyed, but why can you see through? Like you literally can see right through the wall.
Yeah, we really can see everything, but there's a window shadow to the north.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Did I screw up I must have screwed up a wall here somehow.
Yeah, even to that side, I can see through. So
no sight restriction. Yeah, that should be restricted. Huh, that's a bit weird.
We walk up to the window and peer inside.
Well, I mean, there are windows there, so it's not like it's you shouldn't be able to see anything, but it's a little weird that
those walls were left out for.
Well, they're there.
When you got the other ones.
They're literally there. I'm literally looking at them right now.
Oh.
And movement restriction is normal. Light restriction normal. Sight restriction normal. You shouldn't be able to see through them. But if I click on you, you definitely can see through. Like I'm moving you, so don't. You can see right through these walls as if they were.
Yeah, that's why I was moving myself to
It's,
see.
But you can't. But if I get all the way over here, this wall right here is working that way. That's a bit weird. I don't know, man. This is a weird one.
New mystery. Give up on this shark thing.
I know what it is. Here, let me do this, and I bet you money it'll fix it. I bet you I tested this map, and that's where I did the test. If I remake the Fog of War, nope, still shows it to you. So something is just broken with that wall. It's weird because even the fire light that's in there is showing that it hits the wall and it stops. Oh well, not a big deal. That's just the bakers anyway, so you can see into it. Whatever. It's a bit weird though that it's broken. So you guys head down the thing. You can smell the baking of pies and bread from the place that you can see into.
So Hylough, do you want?
You hear some clanging as if somebody's banging on an anvil as you walk by here, and then you get to here and you see that there is some damage to the wharf here. It's not really a wharf. There's a place where you can, like, this is a river over here. And I really shouldn't use black for my pointer, but this is the river over here.
It looks purple. So.
Yeah, well, I'm doing it on the watch.
Oh, you changed it. Yeah, got it.
So this is the river over here. This is sort of a small, like, wooden dock. It's more of a boardwalk kind of thing where people can tie up like a skiff or a small rowboat or something like that. That's typically what's tied up here. So that they could potentially go into the shop here, or or go fishing in the river, or all that sort of stuff. So you get up to here, and you can see that there's some damage on this boardwalk. You can see that the windows are broken out in the. I'm gonna move Marcus over here so you guys can see around it. You can see that there is
oh wow,
the windows are broken out on this thing, and you can kind of see inside of it a little bit. There is a person there who's kind of cleaning up the glass inside of the cafe, and she looks at you looking in and says, "Can I help you, sir?"
Yes. Hylough, I was going to let you take lead on this since you're the more respectable.
Yeah, we're investigating the damage that happened last night.
Oh, somebody's finally coming here to talk. We don't look like the normal watch, but as long as you're looking and you're with them, right?
Yes, okay, I flashed the badge.
Okay. The creatures that came up over the wharf or the boardwalk here, and they started smashing the windows. And she's like, if you come in here and look, they started trying to break down the walls in here. If you head inside the thing, and you can see along this wall here, there's scratches and stuff like that. And there's a door here that is not currently open, but also has some scratches on it.
So what's on the other side of the door?
Oh, it's just a storage closet.
And what's in the storage closet? Why would they want to get in there?
Fish and ale and stuff.
And you're in control of all the things that are stored there?
I stored it there, yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
nobody else is
there. I get
your
some
landlord
fish
is
from
not
some people here, but
who's your landlord?
Sklar. I mean, I don't technically own the place. I'm just the one that's running it. Today, I work for a different guy. He goes by the name of Gil. And you realize that the cafe is called Gil's Cafe. I just work here. I just manage it for him. Actually, he's usually the cook. He's not here today. I don't know why, but But maybe he got hurt last night. Now that I think about it, maybe he actually got hurt. Anyway,
Hopefully not.
but he does all the transaction with the landlord. As far as I know, it's a guy named Sklar or something.
Can you get into is the warehouse back behind that? Is that what we're
She's like, there is a warehouse. If you go around the block, you can get into it from that side.
and you can't get to it through this door.
Not that I know of.
Why do you think well, maybe they were just hungry, they were looking for food. Okay. Okay. So should we, anybody else have any other questions? Should we walk around to the other side?
She does. Hold on a second. She opens the door for you. And you look inside there, and yeah, there's a couple barrels. There's a couple. I missed the cupboards. There's a couple cupboards in there, and that's it.
Okay.
Like it's a kind of an odd kind of closet, but that's it.
No other doors that we could see or anything.
There's no other door that you can see.
Can I investigate for hidden doors?
Sure, if you like. She kind of looks at you and is like, I don't know if Gil would like you back in there looking at his stuff, but
I'll just do it.
We got the badge. Go ahead.
Investigation? Is that?
Yeah. So here, let's put you into here so you can kind of at least see. It's an odd shape, but you're not sure. I mean, maybe this is a panel back in here, but you're not sure.
So what's on the other side here? Actually, can I kind of tell if I go outside and look?
I mean, if you go out and go over here,
yeah,
you can see that this is the edge of the warehouse. There's some doors, like there's river goes into it. I mean, not into it, but clearly.
Is that how the boats go in?
Yeah,
underneath.
They don't go underneath. Somebody probably opens up the doors.
Oh, there's doors. I see it. Yeah.
That is unusual.
She says, I mean, that's the warehouse is on the other side. It just this is not the way you get in. You get in on the other on the northern side.
But we're trying to see why they would focus on. I mean, they focused on other things as well, and not just as eerie. But did they just leave, or did you run them off?
Left, yeah. I mean, some of the guards from the warehouse, I think, helped out. Like I wasn't here last night.
Okay.
The cafe was closed.
I'm gonna go bang on that panel. See what I just boom, boom, boom.
Which
boom.
panel?
The panel of that slanted that Marcus found.
It does sound a little hollow. She's like,
Try to.
What are you doing?
Trying to figure out if there's a hidden compartment back here.
Well, the warehouse is on the other side of that wall. That's literally what she says.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's fine. Let's go on. Let's go to the other. Let's go around to the. Where I don't know. Does anybody else have anything to say? Otherwise, let's go to the warehouse.
So no one. This was empty. That they destroyed the windows. And
yeah, they destroyed the windows. No one was here last night. They destroyed the windows. She found it this way in the morning. She's starting to clean up now.
And you don't know if the guards may have driven them off, or they may have just left.
She thinks the guards drove them off. The warehouse guards.
They may have just been for food coming in here, trying to get into that.
Yeah, some of their fish and stuff. Some of her fish has been eaten. And it's definitely the room. The way I've drawn the map, it looks pristine, but some of the tables are smashed up, the chairs are tipped over, the plants are all kind of tipped over. Some of the fish is half eaten. Some of the plates and stuff are broken. I mean, it's clear something came in here and trashed the place.
And there wasn't any looting or anything, right? This is all done. No one came and
doesn't look.
You
like
haven't found anything.
It looks like She's like, no. I mean, other than the scratches and some of the food being eaten, nope. Everything's the way I would expect it, other than being trashed.
Hopefully, you'll have someone help you come in and help to straighten everything up.
Let's go around to the other side.
Like I said, I don't know where Gil is, but maybe at some point he'll show up.
Is there any blood? I'm gonna look for blood or investigate that type of thing.
Sure, go ahead. You look around for a bit. You do find some blood. It's the blood from the fish that's been partially eaten.
Okay. No human, they're just the claw marks, no action,
Nope,
nothing.
There's no blood with the claw marks.
No
on the walls or
indication.
anything like that. No.
Okay. Well, hopefully, I mean, it doesn't look like he was killed in here, and he's normally not here at night, right?
No. We close mid-afternoon. Like normally, this would be our rush hour, but and she's like, "You get to like a rush hour here." It's kind of.
Who stores things in that warehouse? Do you have a lot of business from
the landlord does, as far as I know. But yeah, usually the guards come over and eat and stuff like that, and some of the people who work in the area here.
All right, I'm gonna walk around.
And you have seen a few people around here. It's not like this portion of the docks is completely abandoned or anything, but it's not as busy as say where it was around the watch house and stuff like that.
Well, thank you. We're just inspecting everything, and if you could think of anything as far as if you don't hear from Gil, let the guard know.
Okay.
And we'll talk to the warehouse. And is there anybody, any of the warehouse guards that are better, that are friendlier, or might be? Is there someone who's responsible?
They're all kind of nice. Okay. They're nice to me anyway.
Well, understandably. But you don't know who the commander, except.
Say again.
He says, did you start to say something? Like,
no,
except?
No. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I was going to. Oh, yes.
I'm trying to look through my notes. That's all I was doing.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
And I will
so what do you
follow Hylough and the rest of the group to.
Right. So you guys can head around to the north side if you'd like. You might as well move yourself up there real quick. Shouldn't be too many walls in the way.
Run.
It's really weird that one is just totally broken.
It's weird there's a wall right here somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, there is. There's a wall there.
So I'll go to these windows as well.
Looking inside there, you definitely see some crates and things like that inside of there.
I bang on the door.
So there's a double door here on the north side. This right here is a double door.
Right.
And it's you bang on it. And from inside you hear a, "Yeah, what do you want?"
It's Hylough with the, was it the watch or the guard? What is it called?
Well, the watch.
Argent watch.
The Argent watch.
Yep.
And we've come to inspect.
Inspect for what? Are you, huh?
Could you please open the door?
He seems confused about an inspection.
Please open the door.
You see a small, like, kind of eye peephole kind of open up in it. He's like, there's a guy with a sort of a pencil mustache. He's got a cap on, a metal cap on. Clearly a guard of some sort. And he's like, "You're not wearing the Argent Watch stuff."
I showed the badge. Show the badge.
You show the badge. He's like,
"We're here on the orders of the captain."
I don't. You could have just made that up.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Then we'll just arrest you and take you down to the watch right now. So
you can't arrest me. You're not part of the watch.
Okay. Is the door unlocked or?
We should. This would be easier for everyone. We're just trying to inspect the damage. There's no reason to get upset. There's no reason to take you inside. But there is damage on the other building. We're trying to find out.
I'm telling you, there's no damage in here.
Well, and that's.
Open the door, or I'll break it down.
Give me an intimidation check.
And I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him a bar. Now, we don't have to do this like last time when you accidentally wounded. You accidentally maimed that person, and I'm giving him a bardic inspiration.
There we go. I finally found this guy's name.
Plus the
he's like,
inspiration.
whoa.
D6.
Yeah, roll a D6. Sorry.
Okay.
I should have waited for that.
guess I could have done that from over there.
I could really have Dresd'a and Iylis put themselves in a particular spot. Otherwise, they're going to start any kind of combat that we might have all the way outside on the other side of the thing. Which would really suck.
Around to the north side of the building.
He's like, whoa. Wow, you got a 24, I told. Like, there's no need to break down the door. My employer would not be appreciative of that.
Okay.
Fine. You hear a, give me a minute. You see the thing slide shut, and you hear a clink, and then you hear like a bar getting pulled open, and then the two doors slowly open up, and you see inside there's another guard, sort of a wagon that can be covered over top of, and a few things of stuff in there. He's like, fine, come in. See, there's nothing broken.
Okay.
Wow,
Open these doors,
broke
please.
Something here.
Yeah.
Broke something.
You can see through a crack in the door.
Yeah. Well, clearly you can see through a crack in the door.
Open these doors, please. Or I'll open them.
I did have a very, very small crack. Now it's gone, except that it's back open. Because I broke something. No, you can't. You shouldn't be able to go through there, Hylough. I didn't open the door.
I did.
No, the doors were locked. Sorry.
Okay.
Put yourself back outside there.
Okay, sorry.
The doors are actually locked. I just forgot to lock them.
Okay. Could you open these doors, please?
Sorry, I can't do that.
Why not?
What?
I'm not authorized to. My employer says that no one can go in.
So we are authorized by the authority.
I can't let you in. You can take me downtown. I can't let you in.
You need to let us in. We need to do our jobs. You need to obey the law.
But you haven't proven to me that you are actually from the Argent Watch. You're not wearing the uniform. You got some silver coin. That doesn't mean anything.
We got a badge and a warrant.
You don't have a
we
warrant.
have a badge.
You got a badge. You don't have a warrant.
We don't need no stinking badges. Oh wait, that's what
right.
we have.
Badges.
I gotta read what I wrote about this guy here. Second.
Can we just beat him up?
Well, that we could, but let's try not to do that.
Nothing was broken inside there last night.
We are investigating.
We actually repulsed any. We actually attacked the creatures that were attacking. We drove them back into the water. It was all good.
Can we walk around the back to get there?
Well, we could probably go under the gate of the water there, back there too. But
What the hell?
huh?
No, the map gets screwy with me.
So, would this be better if we just arrested you so you can say you weren't there when we burst down the door?
Do what you
I mean,
gotta
it's
do.
harder on you. Okay.
You do what you got to do, but when my employer finds out what's going on, he's in good with the lady governor. You're gonna have some mighty fine problems.
Let us worry about that.
So I'm gonna start to grab him, but I want a sleight of hand. Do I see his key? Do he have keys on his belt or anything?
Not on his belt. You don't see any, but
Okay, that one.
There's another guard there. Does he?
yeah, there is a second guard there. He's kind of just watching this whole exchange, looks like trying to just stay in the background.
So look at him. So what about you? Are you gonna go downtown too, or are you gonna?
Hey, he's telling you the truth, man. I don't know what to tell you. We don't cross
agree.
our employer. He's been told to. Heck, even if you were the Argent Watch, he would probably tell you you can't come in.
Why? What are you hiding?
I'm not hiding anything. Our employer says not to let anybody in. That's what our job is to do. We're guards.
So are we. We're deputy guards. We're investigating a case and you're obstructing justice.
Dun dun dun.
Both of them kind of look at you like, what? There's no justice here. It's a warehouse.
We don't know that.
We suspect
It's
that
a warehouse.
we suspect that these creatures are here because of what's in this warehouse. More people will die. Do you want this on your conscience?
I'm a guard. I don't have a conscience.
Well, that's
Exactly.
possible, but do you have a family? Because they certainly could die as well.
Our job is to help protect the town,
You're gonna have to do a persuasion.
which takes
I'll try.
which takes precedence over your employer. You need to let us in to see.
You're, Dresd'a, I will say you're making an assumption about the political structure of the city. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't do that. I'm just saying you are making an assumption.
Yeah.
The first guard's like, hey, I don't want to be in your way. I really don't. Really don't want to be in your way.
Then don't be in our way.
But
Let us in.
I would rather be in your way than get in trouble with my boss.
Oh. How about you and I go and get a sandwich? Well, how about
Yeah, this
you
cafe's
go
closed.
get some food? Yeah. And then you don't have a problem here. You're not involved.
Fireball!
Fireball. Like,
Come on, somebody please smack a guard. Please just smack them.
Wow, you know, y'all were like,
Murder hobos unite.
I didn't say kill them. I just said smack them.
I think I'm thinking about let's go to the other guy. Let's go to Lions and then come back.
Well,
But by then, they'll have
shake.
stuff.
guys,
hang on.
every time I wait for you guys to say we want to do an insight check, and you never do an insight check. And then the times where I'm like, you don't need an insight check is when you ask to do an insight check.
Let's do an insight check.
I don't understand. I really don't.
Because I can't see, I can't insight nothing.
Yeah,
That's why.
Because I have crappy
Might as well
insight.
just go on my instinct.
It's just, guys, being very reticent about things, and usually that can sometimes mean that he doesn't give you all the thing. Wow, you guys really are bad at insight.
Yeah, Dresd'a got it there.
Dresd'a got a 17.
This guy is sweating bullets. Like, he definitely is seriously
Hiding something.
hiding something, maybe not. Like, he's being pretty straightforward. He's literally telling you, I will not let you in because I'm more afraid of my employer than I am of you. That's basically what he's telling you.
So
What
tell
can
me.
I do to persuade you to
Right.
let us look?
So I'm gonna try and tell the guy.
Hey,
I
we
said,
got money.
Have you
So
seen any?
you tried to persuade him. You definitely got a good deception, or not deception, intimidation that got you into this sort of main entryway. At this point in time, though, he's kind of stiffened up.
Hey,
Okay,
So let's take him downtown.
Well, let me just ask him some questions here real quick. Have you seen in here, and y'all be prepared to do some insight since I can't.
Yeah, okay.
Anything that looks like large eggs that are blue-green.
Large
hold
eggs?
up
You
my
mean
hand.
like chicken eggs?
No, like fish eggs, but large.
Fish eggs are like little tiny things, right? Aren't they the stuff that you put on a?
Hey, just shut up. Shut up. Listen to me. Blue green. Have you seen anything like that coming in and out of here? About this big.
Not really. But
I'll
I
hold up
don't
my
see
hand.
everything that comes in. Like, it's sometimes in crates and barrels and stuff like that. Iylis, he's definitely hiding something.
He's definitely hiding something.
Oh yeah. The rest of you have no clue. Like,
Yeah, I know.
He's
We're
totally
brilliant.
on the up and up. He's clearly scared of something that's not you guys.
Mr. Guardman.
My name's
what do
Guy.
you say? Hey, Mr. Guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really funny though.
What do you say you let us come on in and I toss you a couple doubloons?
Oh,
if you
Lord.
know what
Just
I mean?
arrest him already.
Jesus.
We're the worst
well,
cops
hold on.
ever. So,
Yeah, you guys are terrible. He's like,
So,
guys, like,
we're new
looks
at
at
this.
Iylis a little bit, and he's like, how many we talking here?
I flash him a couple silver.
That's it.
And he flashes you a couple birds.
I flash him a couple gold.
And he flashes
All right,
you a couple
Praedyth done with
birds.
this
How about a platinum piece?
Ooh.
Praedyth walks in.
Actually, the guy is like, he looks at the other guy. What do you think, Trent? We just go have some lunch somewhere? Trent's like, what about the rest of them?
Rest of who?
What?
Well, you know, we don't have to worry about them. They're on their own.
We'll discuss things with the rest of them.
I hear Chirax Landing is good this time of year. You know.
Yeah.
It
is. We just came from there.
We just came from there.
You
It's
make
pretty
it
good.
2 of those, and now I'll totally be out of your way.
You drive a hard bargain.
You and Trent.
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, you assume.
Okay.
He nods.
Okay. All right.
Hey, the man.
And can you tell us? Can you tell us anything unusual going on here?
I'm just gonna be out of your way.
Fair enough.
Later.
So 2 platinum.
Yep.
Out of the inventory.
Okay.
All right.
A good
So
investment.
And,
any keys to this place? Any keys to
He
these doors?
hands you some keys,
Uh-huh.
and he and Trent head off into the sunset.
We're doing great. We're doing
They head out.
we're doing a great
Those are worst.
service
All right.
to humanity.
So let's all get in here and close the doors behind us, the outside
Yeah,
doors, and then
'cause-
Get in a
and
nice
then
room, some
unlock.
fireball.
Get in the nice room for that first fireball that I'm gonna throw. Right
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
face.
Exactly.
These guys don't got no magic. I don't think. Anyway, unlock
That's
the door.
what you think.
You take the keys and you unlock the door.
Yeah.
And you open it up to see 5 other guardsmen look up in surprise and go, "Hey!" And you can roll initiative. And we'll pick it up.
Perfect.
We'll pick up there next time, though.
We
Okay.
paid
All right.
2 platinum for a
Past
fight.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll make plenty of money off of this. It'll be fun.
I should have just dove under the water.
So just because you look in, you do notice that it is a warehouse in here. Clearly, there's lots and lots of different items of crates and things like that. There is sort of a landing area in the center with the water and a boat. You can just barely see the boat. Like that stuff is a little bit further down. You do see that the two doors that are on that side do extend into the water. So whether they extend all the way to the bottom, you're not 100% sure, but they do extend into the water. And I would give you the following piece of information, Marcus. I don't think if the Sea Devils could have went in through there that they would have tried to break in on the outside.
That's true. That's
Right.
valid.
Just as an
It
FYI.
would have swum under.
Yeah.
Praedyth was about done with
also-
waiting.
Well, I thought I should have tried it anyway, just because.
No,
I
you
thought
could have
about
went
it.
down
I
there and
didn't
you
do
would
it.
have seen that. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed,
seen the wall.
It went all the way down to the bottom and some stuff.
Yeah.
And last but not least, as you break open the door or bring open the door, and somebody goes, "Hey, what?" You do hear, you do hear very soft, really,
Fish like cry.
well, like crying.
Crying.
Yeah, like somebody is crying. You can just barely hear, like sobbing.
Like a human
Cool.
being, or
And that's where we'll kind of leave it.
Okay.
Cool.
As the guards like start pulling out swords and
Okay, so
start running
let's
in
go
your direction.
shop again. Let's go back to the shop. Wow.
I think we should go get more bread and
We're
give
awful.
it to
What do you mean
to the
you're awful?
guards.
No, why do you think you're awful?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying this is not my expertise in D&D. Is fluffing my way through. My stats are better, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily my thing.
You guys are doing fine. I mean, you guys have a comedy of errors going on in the sense that the dice rolls on insight and things like that are just not going your way. It's all right though. Anyway, we will pick this up next time with a
Cool.
battle in the warehouse.
Woo!